Welcome back on into the Moose Wars Frozen Fury 2v2 segment. Apologies for that short little tech break. We had a couple of issues on the production side of the stream, but we are back now and better than ever with our next game coming up. As mentioned before the break, it's going to be Simba and Lampy versus Walshy and Anime. I am once again, of course, here with A Surge. And you excited for this match, man? Because I certainly am.
I really am. I love seeing people who used to play in a lot of community tournaments rise up and become established players, and particularly Lampy, I remember from a lot of community tournaments from way back when, older Moose Wars, dating 2 years even, I think. And seeing Lampy become now an established player, I'm very excited for that. I really enjoy people rising through community tournaments. I think it's a great way to kind of train and grow as compared to, say, ranked, which can be a little bit more frustrating and it doesn't give you as much experience for real tournaments. But the other team as well, Walshy and Anime in particular is someone that you always run into in a lot of these Moose Wars. Eventually your brackets, like all roads to Rome, will lead to Anime, and ones or twos you will end up playing in the end. Pretty interested, usually on the Bodvar, but seems to have locked in the Wushang, the Aang crossover, and I think I really enjoy seeing Wushang in twos. The signatures are very good for passing back and forth and can turn some bad situations where you're deep into red into just 0 to KO combos. It's really good to see. I think we're going to see a lot of brawling in this match. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Absolutely, and we are actually seeing, despite the differences in characters we are seeing on the screen as we go into this game number one, the crossovers all across the board, it is actually going to be a legend mirror match. Again, despite what it may seem with all four being completely different characters, these are actually only 2 characters being played across both teams, a Wushang and a Cross in both cases. And right now, both teams trying to scrap out a little bit here. Simba getting taken very high up by Anime. Simba, obviously a very established player, especially on that spear around in the brawl scene for a very long period of time. Walshy in a very similar position, while Anime and Lampy not quite as established. Obviously known names, but not quite as much. And right now Anime is going to find a big NSIG follow-up onto both team members, and they're going to lose the stage control for a moment. They will manage to make it back. No weapon in the hand of Simba for just a moment. Will get taken out off the top by that recovery. The D-Light set isn't quite going to be enough, but the red team looking to clean this up very, very early on here.
Ooh, dropping the edge guard there, but Simba
oh, nah.
knocks him down, and Lampy, with a follow-up from Anime, able to clean it out. Not a complete KO off of that, but so much damage. The cross, the Luke, so much force on that character. And red team, Gauntlet NSIG, one of the highest force moves in the game, at least until the next patch, and is going to clean that stock from Walshy.
For sure. And right now, it may look, if you squint a little bit, the stock, okay, I was going to say if you squint a little bit, the stocks may look a bit even, but now it really isn't looking that way, as the blue team are down 3 stocks against the 5 of the red team. Anime still holding on to this first stock, is going to punish that ground pound, and Walshy doing work with these blasters, left alone for a second, and Simba is there to capitalize just a little bit. 2 moves coming out, that's better than nothing. With the same
so
flying.
Much time off the top. Blasters able to just barely survive and now getting knocked into the red team's combo. He's
no.
out. Very unfortunate, but red team capitalizing off of just one hit. Lampy doesn't even want to play out the
Lampy. Next. Honestly, yeah, if I'm Lampy, I'm feeling the same. And the red team definitely had a game plan going into that one. That was focused down Simba at all costs, falling incredibly early. And that is going to reflect in the stats of Simba taking 600 damage and dealing only 208 in response. And honestly, I mean, the red team just seems so much more confident going into this, going back to the exact same stage, exact same legends, in fact, for game number 2. The blue team seriously need to have something up their sleeves for this matchup if they really want to stick with the mirror match.
Definitely. Usually when you go back to the mirror match, it's just you feel like you got a little cheese in that game and you just want to go back. You think you can take it if the cards fall your way correctly this time. And no, D-Light off of that, but,
maybe?
Wow.
Woo! Okay.
I love that spear's there so they're able to get a delay follow-up and knock them all the way up. Quite the combo, and just off of one Blaster's end light, the game flips on its head and the blue team at a complete stock advantage. Already getting quite the damage lead too.
Well, I said the blue team needed something up their sleeves. Clearly, they had it. Although the red team doing a pretty good job at splitting them apart right now. Simba could be in trouble here. Is going to use the ending to touch. Anime still not finding the knockout. The recovery not quite enough. Walshy dodging around looking for that opening, but not able to find it. And Lampy's going to punish accordingly. Simba now threatening Anime with a knockout. Lampy doing the same with Walshy. And Anime now the only red team member left on his second stock, and I stand corrected as he falls down as well. The blue team completely turning the tables in this second game here.
Lampy is playing out of his mind. These KOs, just able to go from one person to the next. Playing so good in the second game. Taking the mantle, and the run and Simba strategy seems to not particularly be working either. Simba fights back and not able to find the stock off the side. It was such a great opportunity when Simba went down, but now, blue team with stage control, Blaster's ground pound, and Anime just in a really tough 1v2.
Woo! Okay, Simba, cook, I guess. Yeah, that was just a complete turn on its head. The damage numbers almost mirroring in the opposite direction of that first game, and if this is what we had to expect coming from these players, I'm looking forward to a completely absurd set. I'm looking for a game 5, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
If I'm being completely honest, all us casters love a game 5. Stakes as high as humanly possible, and with the pace these games have been going, I can completely see that happening.
Yeah, I definitely love those sets that are games 1 through 4. They're beating up on each other, and game 5 is so close and tight, and I believe that's what we have in store for here. Just one hit can turn a complete game around. Blaster's end light there, not able to follow up off of it. Got in there with a nice interrupt, and now red team hoping to recover from what could have been very scary to start.
The blue team showing a lot of really good confirms off stray hits. And that is one thing that actually Walshy is really well known for in the teammate that he usually plays with, that being QT. They're known for those really good confirms, but the blue team sort of giving him a taste of his own medicine right now as they find all these follow-ups, although, as I say that, Simba will clash with the recovery coming out of Lampy and lose his first stock. The red team currently holding a small 1-stock lead here. Could go either way very quickly. Simba not finding the punishment of the D-Light. The side take by Lampy still not quite enough. I stand corrected, never mind. He didn't have the options.
Yeah, those moments are the ones that could completely turn games on their head. If you're not able to take those stocks immediately, then the game can become very out of reach. But they were able to take Walshy's stock really early, and now the 2v1 opportunity. Walshy just wants the platform, wants to be up in the air, does not want to get hit by something.
What are you doing?
Oh man, Blaster's Dare is so good. There is no safe area against that move. You can just get turned. Ensig not gonna hit. Lampy a little scared on this first stock, but still good to hold it on for so long. Walshy in deep red. Blue team definitely looking to clear that one out, but not the options. It's saved by Lampy. Lampy just everywhere right now in this third game.
Lampy actually going for the side tick there, expecting Walshy trying to go for the interrupt. Doesn't manage to find it, and now all of a sudden, Lampy is the healthiest player on the board. If the red team can focus down Simba, this could be dangerous for the blue team. You don't want your stock count to be really asymmetrical, because that can leave your team disjointed in the timings of when they're left alone in the 2v1. And we're seeing that right now as Lampy left alone. It's going to take a little bit of punishment from Anime, and now Simba actually grab onto a weapon, finds the recovery. Is Anime soon to follow? The side hit, not quite enough.
Option there, the Gauntlet
the recovery caught with the net.
Should be able to make it back though. Too many options to make it back on Gauntlets, and Lampy losing the stock, but as long as Simba is able to hang on to this, but not looking like he's able to do it, gets interrupted. Could have been disaster there. Still quite hurt onto Simba, but Lampy, as we know, up to the task, could turn this game completely around for the blue team. Just a couple stray hits, we know they can recover from a Gauntlet recovery off the top, and all of a sudden,
oh no!
Neutral Signature not gonna do it, but Walshy's still in a terrible spot. GCD like catches both of them, and now Walshy's done, and Anime isn't gonna be able to take this.
Oh,
the save
chase
Simba
dodge.
that loses for it, and now a 1v1 Lampy, a little bit more hurt, but has the weapon spawn advantage. Now both players on it Blaster's recovery not going to do it. Opts to go for a gauntlet, but could be the end of it. No, just a little bit nervous between these two teams. The weapon throws, you love to see it. Lampy barely able to make it back. Anime with all the stage control should be able to clean this one up, but might be able to make it back.
Lampy trying to cover that aerial space with the dash jump nares. Still, Anime getting his hands on the gauntlets. A lot of very slow approach weapons coming through, but the grounded recovery is going to be enough, and Anime clutching it out for the red team and actually turning that game around after what was an early blue team lead. And now we're looking at a 2-1 scoreline in favor of Anime and Walshy.
That spear ground pound that separated both of them off of the wall was really well timed, and setting up the 1v1 like that and then able to clutch it out with the recovery. Any straight hit between the two of them. You could tell when it's 2 versus 2 that there's just a lot of aggression and there's no breaks, but all of a sudden it's 1v1 and they pause, they take their time. Back into it with the 2v2 and no pausing, no taking time, immediately running at one another, trying to hold stage control. Anime taking Lampy up, but no follow-ups, didn't have a lot of options for it. Meanwhile, Walshy taking a lot of damage on the Lampy.
Yeah, Lampy, definitely the most damaged player on the board right now. The red team doing a good job at splitting the blue team apart, and that has really been very successful for them so far this set, because the blue team, like you said, getting a lot of confirms throughout the game. Lampy, a raw NSIG, sorry, not quite enough in the side sig coming out of Anime. Still not enough. These SIGs landing, but not knocking out quite yet. Another side sig, once again, not enough. And finally, that D-Sig will secure the first stock in favor of the red team. Lampy forced to run away from the red team for a moment while Simba gets back on the field. Gauntlets now in hand.
That situation can be scary for the red team in the 2v1, because Lampy, we know, can immediately take both stocks with just a straight hit, even in a 1v2. Lampy playing so good this set so far. Taking Blaster's recovery up the top and able to do it. Apocalypse, highest ceiling, and Walshy doesn't get the touch, and blue team, small advantage, but it's a little deceptive, because if the red team is able to put more damage onto Simba, this advantage could turn completely into a red team advantage. And Simba just hoping to run away, get a little up off the top, while Lampy stands in between them. That final stock gets knocked out on the right side, but Simba just hoping to survive, not take a lot of damage, being the most damaged player in this game so far. Oh, delayed NSIG not going to do it for a hold down, and Simba being the aggressive one so far, which is a little surprising, but maybe it's going up with the spear recovery. The NSIG going to take him off the left side, and oh no, Hackle looks scary.
Oh no!
No touch, no save. Unfortunate.
Lampy actually getting in there with the gauntlets, getting a couple of dodge reads there, getting a bit of damage, but can Simba pick up the slack? The side take punished by the side air, not going to get too much of an advantage state for the red team, but the blue team needs to find one of these stocks as soon as possible before things start to get really, really dire. That's one. Second one not quite coming through. Walshy could be in trouble here. Both blue team members missing their knockout moves. The Enlight Simba isn't there to confirm.
Caught, weapon starving. Anime fans just trying to get away. This platform, you can tell, is the safe spot, but both players know trying to cover it as much as possible. Anime fan just getting a little beat up off the top by Lampy. Feels like he just wants to get away, but not able to do it. Lampy controlling on the second stock finally drops, but it looks like red team just not going to be able to get some kind of combo out of this. As long as Simba's able to survive, Lampy can put out more than enough damage to clear out this game for the blue team.
And you'll find this there, keeping Anime off the stage. Walsh, it's a very risky side take. Doesn't get punished for it though. So another side take coming through. Simba just about surviving. Lampy borderline untouched on this final stock, but it won't necessarily matter. The side take is huge for the blue team. The recovery not quite enough, but Lampy looking to end it right here, right now, and take us to a game 5. Delay into recovery, and that will secure it. A game 5 secured as we predicted. The back and forth from both of these teams, and sticking with the exact same picks for this game 5.
That was a really good game 4. That was back and forth between the two of them, and you never know, but you can tell the kind of trend that it's following is that Simba will generally lose his stock early and do his best to hold on to it. He's doing a really great job of it, and usually in that situation, that's when you start to look at Lampy and see if he's able to take the pressure off of Simba, and he's doing so effectively, particularly in the game 4, was able to get them off of Simba. And even with the dealer recovery that would have KO'd his teammate, as long as you win the game, it's not an issue. As long as there's one blue player left standing, you will win. And as we go right back into it, same legends picks, same map. I love sets like this where it is all about the gameplay and not about the counter picks. Right back into it.
And immediately, Simba, spear in hand, Lampy getting his hands on these blasters. Very good weapon synergy between those two. Meanwhile, both red team members on the double gauntlets. Anime looking for a very early edge guard onto Simba. And that's going to get converted into the blue team's favor. Looking for a chase off the top. But Simba going too deep and leaving his teammate alone for a moment to get some punishment from Walshy. Damage is slightly in the blue team's favor, but not too noticeably as it starts to equalize up once again.
God, just a scary situation off the top, but it is Apocalypse, and it can be very hard to KO up there. No delay punishing the GC, but able to get the dare off of it. Not a KO, but Anime Fan scared, and now that leaves the 2v1 option open. Walshy taking a ton of damage. And not able to KO Lampy off the top. Lampy, so far the most damaged person, surprisingly, first time this whole set. First person to get knocked out, and delay recovery, not gonna do it. Apocalypse, man. The ceiling on this map is so high. They can't seem to do it. Definitely weird to say counterpick when they're mirror matching characters, but Blasters and Gauntlets KOing off the top, not able to do it. And Lampy looking to hunt for as much damage. Simba down, and red team with a small advantage. Both players in KO percent though. Just looking for a kill. Not gonna do it. Man. Said it once, say it again, Apocalypse, man. You just survive forever.
Yeah, and that lack of KO ability has really been a trend throughout this set, is the damage gets racked up so quickly, but it takes so long to find the knockouts. That recovery right off the top of the screen is almost overkill coming out of Lampy, but in that time, Lampy has been pushed all the way down into the red on this second stock. The blue team needs to find some sort of huge handoff or team combo to try and equalize up this damage or to slow the pace down, because right now the red team starting to run away with it a little bit. If they can find these knockouts onto the blue team soon enough, it may be looking very bleak for them. Lampy looking for these Dawg people with the gauntlets, not able to secure anything, and the damage still building.
Yeah, such a checkmate, able to knock him up. Now, Simba, it's completely roles reversed. Lampy has lost his stock first both times, and now it feels like blue team in a bit of disarray of sorts. And Walshy has taken very little damage on the second stock. Simba off the top. Blasters neutral say again. Lampy in a scary position.
He's in trouble. He's done.
No save, and this might just be it. Simba with the spear. 1v2 situation, I would not opt for the spear or either weapon really here. It can be very tough to play both those weapons in a 1v2, and Simba hits both of them. Might be able to finish Anime, but no. And trying to find these small little victories. Anime does get knocked out, but Simba now already in the red. Blasters recovery not going to do it, but this might be it. Sarah off the side.
Playing it out to the very end, but Walshy just looking for the knockout. Does get caught by the ground pound, but Anime fiending for it. Finds the side air. Simba doing everything he can, but the exhaustive recovery is going to be enough right off the top. The red team, Anime and Walshy, taking it in a game 5 in probably the most convincing win. In fact, no, the first 2 games are very convincing, but a very convincing win given the previous matches we had from those teams. Very well played by both teams. And keep in mind, this is still the upper side of the bracket. This being a double elimination tournament does mean that we haven't necessarily seen the last of Simba and Lampy. They're going to be moving down to the lower side of the bracket, but not out of the tournament just yet.
Yeah, that surprised towards in the final game, the most important one. Lampy, 300 damage, was dominating the first 4 games, and just a little unfortunate that's how it turned out. But Walshy and Anime moving on, they will be playing against Luna and Experience in winner's side top 8 already. As we move into our next set, it will be Dawg and Cutie and Hardy and Stingray. And I don't know about you, Hackle, but I'm definitely excited to watch that.
This is a very interesting match in terms of the players we see here, because as we saw in the previous game, we had Walshy and Anime. And as I mentioned prior, Walshy is best known for teaming with Cutie, a team that have had multiple top 3s in major 2v2 events, very well established in the scene, but as of this tournament, for whatever reason, not teaming together. Actually swapping teammates with a team that was Anime and Dawg. So Anime going over to team with Walshy and QT going over to team with Dawg. Whether or not that's a permanent establishment in 2-space or whether or not they're just testing things out, testing the waters, is going to be the big question mark. But Stingray and Hardy have played together before, not necessarily as much as other well-established teams, but enough to have a bit of a reputation, and that is for big upsets. Stingray especially recently been playing incredibly well in the 1-space. Hardy struggling a little bit to find his footing in his recent return to tournaments, and in 2v2 Hardy is known for the greatsword. We know Hardy is known for the greatsword, and Hardy is one of the only players who continues that greatsword main status over into the 2-space. And as I mentioned prior with Scythe, the greatsword in 2s is another weapon where, because you don't have that many true combo confirms, it's a lot harder to build those team combos that require those multi-hit true combos or just single hits that launch in a direction, because greatsword builds off those opening hits that don't actually launch in a direction. So Hardy often has very creative ways to play the 2-space with the greatsword. For that reason, I'm very excited to see how these two stack up against a team like Dawg and QT.
Yeah, it's very night and day with the weapon combos between this Stingray and Hardy team, because on the one hand you have like Jaehyun sword and Vrax blasters, which can absolutely take 2v2 one sword end light or one blaster's end light, and that could be the game potentially. But then they switch weapons and you have Lance and Greatsword, and that is a much harder, although with some Vrax sigs could definitely work something out, but way harder than blasters and sword. I'm very excited to see how they'll do it. I'm sure they've labbed quite a bit between the two of them. We know Stingray in particular sits in the lab for quite a while, and Hardy, one of the first players to play Greatsword, introduced it since it was introduced in the game, at least, that he will lab an enormous amount of that weapon. And so I'm sure they have something worked out, even if it's not the cleanest, most beautiful combo you ever see. It will get the job done between the two of them.
It's certainly there. It's certainly going to be there. They've played together before. We know they know their stuff. And we're seeing another Wu Shang going into this game with QT on the staple Rayman that we know him so well for in that team comp with Walshy. And then Stingray over on the Lord Vrax. Stingray and Hardy playing two very rarely seen legends in the 2v2 space, but that does not reduce my faith in them whatsoever.
Yeah, and we've seen twice so far already in this game where Stingray is able to get a D-Light on Lance, which has quite a few frames on it where the other weapon would be able to follow up, and Hardy Greatsword just not able to get a clean combo off of it, whereas with the sword you could just immediately sword Endlight, and you could tell Hardy opting to stick with the Greatsword. Sometimes it really is better to play the weapon that you will play neutral in the 1v1 better on. Definitely no slouch on the Greatsword at all, and already quite the advantage for the blue team. Still a lot of damage buildup too. Red team not able to clean it up. Gets finally a combo on the Stingray. NC able to clear it out. And Endlight from Axe, but still cutie. Deep orange, a nice burnt sienna orange, I think I would say, and Hardy trying to clear up even more damage.
That side sig was dangerous for just a moment if it had gone through, but unfortunately for Hardy, does get interrupted. Regardless, though, the blue team still holding onto this damage lead, which is getting quite sizable now. Stingray finds the recovery is going to be enough. Hardy, the falling side air, not quite. The recovery as well, not going to go through. Stingray just throwing out those signatures that Vrax is so well known for. But Dawg, weaving around these attacks, still managing to hold onto this stock. And that could be an important linchpin for the red team. They need some sort of stock tank right now, but there he goes, flying off the right side of the stage, and now QT left alone with the axe in hand, caught by the D-Sig. And the red team really needs to start to turn the tables there.
Yeah, I'm definitely surprised Stingray getting away with so much. Particularly, I think these Rexigs are very hard to punish, and Stingray just covers so much space with them that the red team just can't seem to be able to get in. The second they get knocked up or to the side, Hardy finally on the right side. Stingray KO'd up off the top. Hardy can still live here. Wow,
oh my.
Great sword there, such a disjointed hitbox, able to make it back. And now Hardy building up so much damage, still hasn't been KO'd. This is not the one you want to stock tank. It can be quite hard to KO him here. Stingray taking a sizable amount of damage. That is the win condition for red team. If they are able to clear up Stingray's stock here, then they can find a path back into this game. But so far, Stingray with the great movement of the D-Light, I
That's
believe.
just filthy.
Oh, that's so demoralizing, and that would be the game. Blue team coming out swinging in game 1.
670 damage, 5 knockouts coming out from Stingray. That Lord Vrax Lance just tearing up that game, and then we see at the end there the N-Sig coming through. And I'm most impressed by Stingray's application of those signatures into that playstyle, weaving them into the Lance kit very, very well, and finding consistent knockouts or advantageous situations with those SIGs. And that is honestly, that is the pinnacle that you want with your Legends, to be able to find that synergy between your own moveset and the signatures and mesh them together, even in the 2 space.
Hardy, 446 damage on Greatsword, 9 damage sword, and 0 unarmed. Hardy has
what
Greatsword agenda. Able to just, and part of that is definitely a testament to getting the weapon spawns and getting the weapon control. That I think is something that they're prioritizing on the blue team. And even though Stingray very apt on both weapons, as we've seen, very apt on a great number of weapons, but able to get the weapon spawns so that Hardy can stay on this Greatsword and do what he does best. That GC D-Light towards the end of the game was beautiful. Almost KO'd both of them. That is quite the replay. I really enjoyed watching that.
I'm just wondering what on sword can do 9 damage. I guess if you hit like the second swing of side air and not the first, maybe that does 9 damage. I think that's probably what Hardy did. I'm not sure what else you could do with sword that does 9 more damage. Yeah, maybe a drop recovery or like a drop D-Light, something like that, but doesn't really matter. If Hardy can get it done with the Greatsword, then let him cook.
Yeah, absolutely. Hardy seeming quite dominant, but the recovery, sidelight net recovery, catches the jump, and Hardy gone so quickly. Blaster's recovery could have taken out really early too. Miami Dome seemed like fairly low, but unfortunately it doesn't, and blue team already in the deficit. Hardy on the sword, already done more damage, I believe, than the previous game on sword.
Oh, definitely now.
Yeah, wow. And now, fairly even. Stingray quite hurt, but with Hardy controlling stage against QT. Oh, now we get down here, though. And now it's a battle of quite damage between Stingray and QT fighting each other. Hopefully both players wanting to KO so that they can get this game an advantage. D-Sig
doesn't knock out? Okay, there we go.
Oh, man. Nair off the top. Hardy's edge guards in with Greatsword are so good when they're on the wall. He's able to just set up stage control. Dare not able to follow up off of it, but puts him in a pretty advantageous position regardless. And blue team, who was in a deficit earlier, has had this stock tank from Stingray and now already able to pick up an advantage.
For sure, Stingray still tanking this. And keep in mind, Vrax is not a legend with a lot of defense on his side. And of course, the Caster's Curse has to come in every time I mention it. As I say it, Stingray does fall down, but not without applying a massive amount of pressure to the red team. Both players heavily damaged on their second stocks. Dawg at risk of falling right here. QT needs to pick up the slack. D-Light from Hardy not going to connect. And Stingray just... The speed with which Stingray is moving around and just throwing out these moves is so incredible, but as I say that, the blue team all of a sudden getting hit quite hard by the red team. The recovery is gonna be enough. The D-Sig will catch, and all of a sudden, Dawg and QT have equalized up and in fact taken a lead here.
That was such a clean stock from both of them, taking very little damage and just knocking them around. It wasn't the beautiful, 2v2 combo that you're used to seeing, but just so many neutral wins and engagements that they could just profit off of. Blaster's recovery not going to do it. Catching the high recovery should be okay, but scary situation for Stingray. Catching the recovery and QT's done. Dawg in a pretty rough position now, 2v1ing, but Hardy on the Greatsword not able to find a lot of combos off of it.
Yeah, regardless, a 2v1 against Blasters is not a situation you want to be in, because as we saw there, moves like Neutral Light have so much setup potential in the 2v2 space. If you get caught by one of the wrong moves, it could be all over. But that being said, Stingray will fall now. Hardy left in the 2v1. Greatsword in hand. That is obviously his weapon of choice, but the D-Sig will connect. Weapon throw from both players. Neither will go through with the ground pound. Will secure it, and Dawg and QT getting their names on the board in game 2.
For a minute there, that was scary for the red team right at the end, where Hardy just started moving around, even in the 1v2. Was able to get so much damage, but that's the thing about a 1v2. You get knocked off stage once, and all of a sudden, you can be in yellow, you can be in anything. The double edge guard from two different people is borderline impossible to come back from, to move through. It is very difficult, and Hardy just not able to do it. Particularly in Greatsword, when you have a fairly slow recovery that is, unlike Gauntlet recovery, for example, which is so much faster and hard to predict, that he can just use the stock very easily. But into this third game, and blue team looking to recover from what was a good game 2 that it looked like they just slipped from their grasp.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like a all in one direction game. It did start out with a lead for the blue team. It was actually quite sizable as Stingray tanked that stock for quite a while, but as this game is starting off, we're seeing Hardy actually be the player to tank the most or the least damage, I suppose, in this game. The N-Sig is going to come through from both players. QT in trouble off the side, isn't going to get knocked out. Hardy actually just dancing around inside that D-Sig, but is going to pay off as Stingray finds both knockouts, and the blue team coming back in swinging for this game number 3.
Yeah, this set is very tight between the two. It looks like either team can take control very quickly. I'd love to see it, and even with these setups, the Lance and Light hitting both and Hardy not able to pick up off of it, and even though they have quite a lead, something you would hope for, but even the damage is more than enough.
Oh no, QT!
This is all options off the bottom, just not able to clean it up. There's a little too much, and Dawg in quite a poor position as well. That really wants to tank this stock, but not able to do it. QT acts Sarah off the side. Stingray, yeah. Lance into spear,
rough.
That dare will knock you out every time.
For sure. Right now, Dawg is the player to watch if he can manage to tank this. Oh. And now the blue team, 2 full stocks up over QT and Dawg. Can the red team find a turnaround like they did towards the later portions of last game? So far, they've just built a lot of damage up the Stingray in a very short amount of time. Can they keep that up?
I can't believe Stingray's alive. Having blasters, one option left, but able to make it back. Quite an impressive recovery, to be honest, in that situation. Hardy was not able to get down there for the save, and now blue team building up so much damage. Red team in a lot of trouble. Hardy,
what is Hardy doing?
Seems to be reading Stingray more than he's reading the red team, but no matter. They're on 2 stocks. They can afford such a thing. Side sig not going to connect. Finally,
that one well.
Able to clear Hardy out, but Stingray, as soon as they get back in this 2v2, it is very scary for the red team. Delay recovery. No, the save.
Well interrupted by Dawg. Very well interrupted. Now QT looking for an edge on to Stingray. The gauntlets doing work, but Stingray finds the recovery, will make it back, but the damage has been dealt. And regardless, Dawg will fall. QT is in danger off the side here. Definitely winnable, but the delay recovery will secure it. And Hardy whipping out the Salt Shaker emote to close out that game. Game 3 going the way of the blue team. I don't know if we're going to see a game 5 here. I think Dawg and QT really need to mix something up because they've been very on and off in terms of the momentum. They've found sudden shifts in momentum, but they haven't been able to consistently keep that up. I think they need that consistency if they want to take this, because Hardy and Stingray have been just in their faces this whole time. If they can slow it down and control the pace, that may be what they need, but they need to find a way to do that, and they only have 1 game's worth of space to do so.
Yeah, definitely a tough position, back against the wall, down 2-1. No legend swaps, right back into it, onto Apocalypse. Higher ceiling, maybe hoping to stock tank just a little longer, which is something that they were not able to do in so far pretty much any of the games. The blue team's KO efficiency has been quite good. Double and like they're going to be able to get out of that, but still nice damage for red team. Stingray already in red, pretty much. Now the red team has an agenda. They want to run right at Stingray, take the stock immediately, and the whole game will revolve around him if they're able to take the stock. But already has something to say about it. Doing a ton of damage, and nope. Stingray off the right side. Now the 2v1 combo, and red team already a full stock lead.
Yeah, just a quick handoff coming out of the red team, and that is all they really needed to hold on to this lead. Right now, Stingray getting cut up by this axe of QT, who is going to continue to find this pressure. Dawg, the least damaged player on the board, but that doesn't seem to be reflecting in the gameplay as QT is going all in. And the D-Sig will connect the side air as well. Hardy could be in trouble here. The recovery not going to connect. Dawg isn't there to confirm either. And Hardy will live to see another day. But whether or not that matters is going to be the question as the N-Sig comes through, and all of a sudden, it seems like the red team have found the key here.
Yeah, it seems to be the more aggressing on Stingray, and even though they are doing that, Hardy is the first one to go down to last stock. And a nice chasing delay. Cutie continuously recovering high. Delay recovery because no options, wasn't able to get a jump for the ground pound, but Hardy's still in a very tough position. You really don't want to be trading damage like this against someone that would rather just KO simply.
The Dawg has all of the room in the world to work with right now, holding onto his first stock, will fall to the side Sig, but again, that was Dawg's first stock. Almost 2 minutes into this game, Dawg has only just entered his second stock. QT has taken a fair bit of a beatdown on this second stock, but not quite enough to knock out just yet. As I say that, the Enlight finisher will do it, but the blue team are still in a bit of a shambles of a situation right here. The side Sig, QT, she finds the sidelight and possibly saves Hardy there.
Hunting for a combo just a bit much there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even still, red team with quite the lead. Both players on blue team could get knocked out at any moment. Any stray hit will do it. Not just in a combo. On Sarah of any kind, but blue team, well, I was about to say it.
Never mind. Never mind. And that is going to be another Game 5 coming in. That is going to be a 2-2 scoreline right now as Dawg and QT bring it back even and take us to the final game of the set. Will we see any legend swaps from the blue team, or will we just see a return to Miami or Apocalypse with the exact same legends?
Yeah, doesn't look like it on any changes, and quite the adjustment from the red team in that game 4, because even in the game that they went previously in the second game, it looked like the blue team was ahead for most of it, and they just had a fortunate turn of luck, and red team seems to have completely gotten it together. Dawg and Cutie looked very good in that 4th game, and in game 5, you would really hope the blue team are able to pick it up, turn this into a barn burner of a 5th game, but who knows? Between the two of them, it really could go any way. Both teams playing so strong right now. And immediately as we get right into it, red team picking up both weapons, which can be kind of brutal at the start of the game. Building up nice damage already. Comboing all the way up off the top. Hardy in such a scary position with no options. Still not able to make it back, but drifts to the right. Cutie guesses the wrong way.
I don't know if anyone in the 2 space has an axe that is as filthy as QT's. QT's just always prepared to just absolutely explode in momentum, quite a lot like how Stingray is doing right now with the Lance, finding so many hits over and over. Dawg narrowly surviving that side Sig. Now Stingray single-handedly finding a way back into this game as Hardy finds a double knockout onto both red team members, and now the stocks and damage in favor of the blue team all of a sudden.
Stingray, such a good combo there, and Hardy able to clean up both stocks. Stingray still stock tanking all the way on Apocalypse, all the way up to the top. Not able to get a hit off of that, and finally a combo out of Gauntlet Endlight. Now Hardy in a scary position. This is not the 2v1 you want to be in. Double gauntlets. You find the KO at any moment. Already in the orange. But Stingray just wants to get in between so that Hardy can survive here, but the side Sig takes him off the side. Stingray in a scary position as well.
Dangerous. This is dangerous. He's done.
No recovery.
And
Catches
this is what I mean.
Recovery. Yeah,
I talk about the incredible momentum shifts the red team can have. It's just whether or not they can hold on to that is the big question, because they just turned the game around so quickly. But we've seen that the blue team is equally capable of that, as they're both hunting for these knockout moves right now. The big swings coming out of that great sword of Hardy. The recovery not quite enough coming out of Stingray. The high ceiling keeping Dawg alive. And as I say that, both red team members will fall down. 1 stock apiece. This is what you love to see in a game 5. Every player fresh on their final stocks. Everything that happened in this game until now does not matter. It's all about right here, right now.
It had to be this way. I'm surprised it came this even. The red team had quite the lead, but blue team playing from behind. So good, the exhaustive recovery. What a good option. Still gets punished, but able to make it back. And red team hoping to get some kind of double gauntlet combo together, but blue team on top of it completely. Side like Sayer, Cutie in a scary position. Hunting Hardy off the top now, but not able to find anything. Stingray barely gets pushed out.
Amazing interruption by Hardy with that side air, keeping Stingray alive with the fully charged side Sig. Now Hardy in the 2v1 Can he find it? The side sig not going to connect. The punish on the GC, and Dawg will find the D-Light set and responding with his own Soul Shaker emote as Dawg and QT clinch it in a Game 5 situation and move forward in the bracket 3-2 over Hardy and Stingray. But what a set.
Wow, what a Game 5 too, and what an adjustment from the red team, truly. Because in that second game, the first game that they lost, or the first game that they won, there was a situation towards the end where Stingray hit a Blaster's Endlight on both of them, and for most teams, that is just completely, the game is over. On a last stock situation, you just get a nice come off, and they weren't able to, and that was more or less why they were able to win that game, because they couldn't finish that. And so they go into a fourth game with their only win being something they could have easily lost, and they just completely turn it around. What an impressive adjustment from the two of them. And just the fight back in Game 5 from Hardy and Stingray, a lot of the beautiful combos, able to turn into an even game in a last stock. It just doesn't go their way, but what a set and what a Game 5. That was beautiful.
Absolutely, yeah, we could not ask for anything more as casters. But with that being said, we do have our final winners quarter final match coming up, and that is going to be another strange team coming in here. Made and Cody Travis versus Pierre and Squared. Made and Cody Travis are two players I never thought I'd see teaming together. I'm assuming this is a situation where Phazon can't play today. Cody needed a teammate, Made needed a teammate because his own teammate is playing with Luna today. And so Cody and Made are teaming up together, and then Pierre and Squared are going to be facing off against them, coming off a 2-0 upset against Zakoi and Rubs.
Yeah, that upset's fairly impressive, and Squared is not a name I have heard in a very long time. It's very impressive to see him come back. Looking back through, I saw a win in a previous Moose Wars from quite a while ago, so definitely seasoned, but hasn't seen a lot of tournaments recently. But the Made and Cody Travis team is very interesting because Made could be playing with Experience right now. Experience on the other side of the bracket, and instead opts for Cody, who probably one of the most seasoned twos players of all time. Lots of major wins with Cody and Phazon, and we know very strong in 2v2s. I'm definitely looking forward to this. That upset versus Koi Wubs, all of a sudden, Pierre Squared on notice. Could be a strong team to go deep into this tournament.
Absolutely, and yeah, we're seeing double blasters coming out of Made. And I mean, it's no surprise to see blasters for Cody, right? It's Cody Travis. He's going to be playing the Barraza. If not, he might with a Diana on a rare day. But Made sticking with this cross that we've seen a fair bit of in the 2 space. Just a very, very strong legend overall for the game mode. And right now, in contrast, Pierre and Squared running Asuri and Mordex, two much less frequently seen legends in the 2's space. However, they've clearly been making it work to get this far into the bracket, so I'm excited to see how they're going to continue to do so. The Scythe in hand for Squared right now.
Very interesting to see a game start out in 2s with Scythe and Katars on one team. And they're in a lead. They built up a ton of damage onto the red team. So clearly very adept on both weapons. Switching to the gauntlets, maybe hoping to get some kind of KO off of a gauntlet, and like not able to find it. And now red team looking to come back into it. Side sig not going to do it. But blue team with all the stage control, all of a sudden, red team in quite the scary position. Cody, barely living. The Sarah able to get back off of it. And blue team, who had stage control, just couldn't find it. Now able to find the KO onto Cody. Made struggling the weapon throw.
No!
Pierre! And the Sarah off the side, he was able to get back off of the chase dodge. Blue team, a small lead, but one that I was not ready for just a few seconds ago.
I don't know if anyone was ready for it, to be honest, and right now they're looking to try and hold on to it. Not many answers coming out of the red team, but as I say that the side air and the D... Okay, Caster's Curse, it happens every single time. As I say it, the opposite happens, and the red team managed to equalize up these stocks. Cody Travis, known for being an incredibly adept stock tank, but in the face of 2 string weapons, where the damage doesn't necessarily matter that much, that could be a large counter to the way that Cody plays the game mode. And right now, it's a nice follow-up, but Pierre is there to interrupt the side sig. And Pierre actually completely untouched on this second stock right now.
Very risky to interrupt that with a Guitar sidelight able to get in between the hits of the side sig, and Cody, it's nared by Guitar. Such a scary position to be in, and Pierre covering Made, who was trying to get in for the save. Another lead. Pierre barely touched on the second stock. D-Light Sayer able to do it. And now Cody in the 2v1. They might have something worked out, but not able to. Barely clipped Squared. And Squared, who is in the red and could lose the stock, seems to be tanking it quite well. Hasn't been hit in quite a while. Pierre building up nice damage. Doesn't mind taking some damage on the second stock so that he's able to give some breathing room to his partner.
Absolutely, Made is going to find that side air. Squared just finding all of these gauntlet hits. Will finally go down to the side air. The follow-up, and that even across the stage with that end light starting in orange. That end sig will secure the knockout for Made, but the damage has been dealt to the red team, and things are starting to look a little bit bleak for them. Unless they can find some nice handoffs or a good team combo, things could already be set in stone for the blue team taking this first game. It's really going to be down to whether or not they can turn things around, and Made almost falling on that final stock. Square just throwing out these side sigs. Both players once again on their string weapons.
No lead is safe against Gauntlet Blasters, but finally 2v1 and Pierre able to take it out. 1-0 for the blue team, and pretty impressive, very even game for a while, but blue team just ran away with it towards that last stock. Really good team play coming from the two of them, which is not what you would expect from Guitar's Scythe, but they even had some nice combo from the two weapons there, and edge guarding from the two of them definitely very impressive as well. And as we move right into the second game, hopefully. maybe a legend swap for Pierre as he's holding on to it.
Yeah, absolutely. But right now we are actually seeing the Asuri coming back in, and we're seeing Made actually swap Legend over to the Chun-Li crossover for Wushang. That's going to be once again a Wushang picked, and I think honestly opting off the double blasters could be a good idea. We don't have any weapons crossing over between the two red team players now, which is going to mean that there's no risk of DI between those two players. And that could be a very big helping factor, as we know that Cody has a lot of experience in just picking up these random off-the-wall team combos.
Definitely. And it's a nice fit too, because I'm pretty sure when Cody and Phazon play together, Phazon plays a lot of Wushang. So Made hoping to just slip right into that spot, and maybe Cody doesn't even look like he's changed the teammate, but already getting into it, and Cody taking the most damage so far. Just a little bit of stray hits, but with Mordex, it's so much damage. Immediate weapon throw. And red team, this is stage control, just struggling a little bit with it. Made pretty hurt off the side, not able to find the KO. They're stuck between the two of them, not where you want to be with blasters and spear. Still trying to get out of it, knocks Cody Travis to the left side, and now stage control for the blue team.
That high ceiling of Demon Island keeping Cody alive for the time being, but the D-Sig, the sidewalls nowhere near as far out as that ceiling, and Cody goes for the ground pound, is going to get accordingly punished by the downer. Very, very ballsy play coming out of Cody there, and will find the punishment as a result. Made looking for something big onto Pierre. That D-Sig is big, but not quite big enough. Squared getting some gauntlets damage in here. Once again, the blue team just tanking these stocks. The red team struggling to find some knockouts. The side air is a good start, but Pierre still tanking. The side sig not gonna go through, and the blue team now capitalizing even harder.
Beating around Cody there. Just a couple of sword end lights, and all of a sudden Cody into deep orange. Squared looking just to be safe off the top. Demon Island, because there's no platforms, it can be very scary. There's no safety when you're in a 1v2 at all. Even the wall is just so short. But now the combo, no! No sidelight nair for Cody, and it was a great opportunity for the red team. All of a sudden, blue team back with their lead.
And right now, Cody is going to fall down off the side. Made dodging out the string, actually finds the side out onto Pierre, but Pierre finds the end sig! Won't get the chase dodge to make it back in our square. The only player left on their second stock in the early orange here, but still that is a noticeable difference from every other player on the board right now. Cody Travis not living up to that name that we expect to have, you know, tanking like 700, 800 damage, but we can't expect him to always pull that out of the bag. And right now, A good dodge out of that side tick will keep him alive for the time being. The down air will connect. Pierre, very damaged. The red team needs to find the knockout onto him, but Made's going to fall. Actually going to be able to touch the wall, and Squared will fall in his place. Cody now looking.
That was a very deceptive lead because Pierre is so hurt. One hit will do it. D-Sig off the side. The Squared in a 1v2. Both red team players are quite hurt, but as we know in twos, just one hit could really turn it around. Sidelight in there, grabs him. Not able to find a finish, but now damage completely even across the board. Verdict Scythe. Oh no. Sidelight in there and the Gauntlet recovery able to get off of it. And the lead there, because it was 2 stocks and 1 stock for blue team, all they had to do was just knock out Pierre and put into such a phenomenal position. Just 2 combos, which is essentially 2 neutral wins for red team, and boom, a completely new stock from Squared was just gone. Right back into it though.
That is exactly what I was expecting coming out of Made and Cody, of course, because they're 2 very established players from 2 teams that have taken gold medals in official 2v2 events. So we know they have what it takes to find these team combos, and that is what they showed us towards the end of the game. At this level of play, it doesn't matter how much damage you have on your final stock. If you're in a 1v2, you need to be perfect in your play if you don't want to just completely lose your stock. And the red team demonstrated that they're in force. Now going into this game number 3, Made to be the first to grab a weapon. Pierre soon to follow. The Katars once again in hand for Pierre.
Yeah, it's such a claustrophobic map, Demon Island. Just no room for you to move around, and the walls are so small that double edge guards from 2s can just. Oh man!
Oh, Pierre!
Makes it back on Made, and it drops out of Made. I can't believe that's how that works.
Oh my!
Wow, red team all of a sudden just explodes out. They were in such a terrible position, and now blue team down complete stocks. Made not even in the red yet. Looks like Cody will be losing the stock, but Made can do a ton of stock tanking, something we know he's very adept at. And all of a sudden this lead can just grow and grow for red team. Oh, the D-Sig not able to fall off of it, but such a big deal hitting both of them.
Again, Made still tanking this stock very efficiently. The movement, the swiftness coming out of Made right now. Trying to sidelight. Squared is there to interrupt, but gets punished immediately. Made playing in prime form right now. Cody looking to try and keep up here. Axe in hand. Gets caught by the weapon throw. Is going to wake up out of it though. Pierre could be in trouble here. The damage is building very heavily on Cody right here. If the blue team could find a knockout onto him, their win condition will most certainly be to just get Cody out and find that 2v1 against Made. But obviously Made is not going to want to let that happen. That D-Light, gravity cancelled, will just about connect on the other side of the stage. Made finding the knockout onto Squared. Finally Made will lose that first stock almost 2 minutes into this game.
D-Light will do it, and this game, if you just squid, it looks pretty even, but Pierre is so hurt.
If you just look at the numbers, right, it's equal. If you're colorblind, it's perfectly fine. Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. It's Made now a full stock up over everyone in the entire lobby right now, and appropriately taking that front seat, taking the more aggressive start to this game, as he can afford to play more aggressive and take more risks with that extra stock to fall back on. That's a lovely side sig. The follow-ups coming in immaculately for the red team. Cody finding all of these blasters theirs.
One neutral win for the red team feels like 3 to 5 hits. It's just brutal for the blue team to take, and Squared already in red. Hard to survive in Demon Island. Almost a good combo off of it. Cody is hurt. This game is very doable for the blue team. They just have to get the pressure off of Pierre.
The double
No, drops D-Light recovery that would have KO'd on Demon Island. And here able to make it back. Squared making so much space with these gauntlets. And now it's just a game of if they can find Cody first. Made goes down, but that's not the one you want.
There. And the D-Sig, Cody Travis taking the double knockout to secure the end of game number 3 and put the red team up into a lead. And what a game that was. And yeah, there's that clip again. Made finding that last ditch effort with that GCN SIG, and that alone saved the game for the red team.
Yeah, these follow-ups for red team are so impressive. I love seeing this. Some of the best twos play is when one neutral win, even something that you wouldn't generally think. I mean, for Sword Endlight or Blaster's Endlight, absolutely, but like a Spear Sayer has been doing it. Axe, End Light, Side Light, Nair will just turn into 5, 6 hits, even a KO for the red team, and blue team doesn't seem to be able to find the same amount of combo potential that we're used to seeing out of the red team.
Yeah, and going into this, Cody now with the axe in hand, most likely looking for the blasters, but still able to get some work done with the slower weapon of the two. Although Cody, that being said, is the most damaged player on the board right now. Going to catch the end light from Pierre. Multiple follow-ups coming in from the blue team, and Cody just not finding an answer right now. The axe just swinging too slow in comparison to the speed of the weapons of the blue team. But he caught by the deep recovery. Made isn't there to interrupt. Now this could be very dangerous for Made as well. The follow-ups coming in. And the side air won't quite knock out, but Pierre looking to confirm immediately the ground pound going to miss, and Made clinging onto this stock.
Barely surviving there. Sword Sarah not going to do it. Made still, Sight there, still alive. And now, every time, this is the issue when you stock tank like this, is every time you get hit, it's just a 2v1 for the other team, and all of a sudden, Cody taking just a little bit more damage than he would like, and neither blue team players looking that scared. Pierre able to survive a Blaster Sarah, now a 2v1 situation, a very scary
ground pound
from Cody. Sometimes it can be safe if you do it on stage.
Oh no, the ground pound not connecting, and the exhausted one not knocking out either. Okay, that one will certainly do it, and Cody now looking to secure another knockout. The recovery gonna fall through for Made, and Pierre still living on this first stock. Made finds the recovery from underneath the stage. That Pierre is going to keep on living.
Blue team just on top of this game so far. Pierre losing a stock, but he's very okay with that. And Square just on the side, they really don't want to go down there against Scythe, which definitely understandable, even in a 2v1 situation. Particularly, Cody just in the red and a Garlet, or the Blaster's End Light, not able to find much off of it. Cody very scared at the moment, just every stray hit building up more and more damage. Cody way onto the left side, Made trying to run interference, but at the moment, finally able to do it. Cody trying to survive, but no. D-Sig.
Oh, Pierre could be in trouble here. Oh, never mind. It's Made who's in trouble. Tries to go for the ground pound. Pierre dodges through. Made finds a recovery one that does manage to touch, but is in trouble once again. Manages to get the dodge. Manages to get back to the stage. But so much damage dealt with such a short amount of time there for Made that regardless of the fact that he survived that interaction, Pierre did so much there.
Cody in a 2v1 situation every time Made gets knocked around, but honestly, this could go any way. Made finally losing a stock, but both blue team players quite hurt. And the axe, we know the KO power it has. Squared knocked down, daylight recovery, and he's finally done. But Pierre looking to stock tank with this sword. Daylight Sarah gonna do it, even though he was stacked. He was able to survive in that situation. Damage starting to get built up on the Made, which is not what you want to see if you're in the red team.
Made going for the GCD light, won't be able to find it. They really need to get this second stock off of Pierre so they can get a moment alone with Squared, but Squared is having none of it, finds the direct recovery, and now Made in a 2v1 against the blue team here, and it's looking dire already as the damage is starting to build. That's a nice nail onto both blue team members with the edge guard, but Pierre's there to interrupt. The side seek not going to go through. And Made is playing this counter very, very well, but not quite well enough. D-Light into the Sarah. Made. Barely makes it back. You know, that's so scary. I don't know how he's consistently able to do this. Just dodging every KO hit. And finally, guitar recovery will do it. Blue team taking a lead and winning that game. Wow, Cody. Okay, 700 damage coming out of PR. I was looking at the damage numbers for the red team and thinking, wow, maybe less damage than Cody that game. It really didn't feel like it. But then I looked over to the blue team and saw 700 damage coming out of Pierre. That is very, very impressive for the blue team. And one thing I do want to note is there's actually very little team damage coming out from both teams here. In comparison to previous matches we had like 200 plus team damage coming out from the likes of QT and Anime, for example.
That's a good point. I have not noticed that at all.
And there's like 30 across either team. And whether that's a testament to their really good synergy or just how they're playing around each other, it's definitely showing.
Yeah, and that's very impressive, because hitting your teammate is a lot easier than you might think in twos. Despite how pro-level players make it look, it's really not that easy. Dare on site is such a good follow-up in these 2v1 situations. It gives so much time. Not able to find a KO. Delay Dare seems to be so consistent for Pierre in these combos, but blue team already with a nice lead. Made on his second stock, not where you want to be. Cody hoping to run interference. Not able to do it so far. Oh, combo getting built up on the mid. That's so much damage already, almost in.
Nice.
Oh, man.
I feel like the confidence just isn't there for Made anymore. Like, he was looking so confident in those first few games, and now he just looks afraid. He looks like he's scared to go for these big approaches in neutral, especially on that spear, and it's really a big detriment to the red team, as we see Made already at risk of losing this second stock less than a minute 30 into this game, and Cody really needs to do the heavy lifting here on these blasters. That side air still not enough. Neither is that one against Pierre. The knockout's just not quite coming through for the red team. That dare will do it onto Squared, and that second side out will do it onto Pierre, but Made needs to play a very safe game here. Cody needs to tap into that incredible stock tank capability if they want to win this game.
Cody's in his element, though. That's exactly where he wants to be, but no! The delay recovery sword able to take out Made, and Cody in the 2v1 not where he wants to be. Committing to a delay, not able to follow up off of the Master's Dare, but Pierre just hunting Made around right now, putting up so much damage onto him. And while Cody wants to be the one in the center, it feels like they're just able to move past him and try and build up more damage onto Made.
Oh, that's a big side sig.
Not gonna do it though. The stock tanking so good from the blue team, which is what you would usually expect from the red team. Not able to find it on the D-Sig. Square just holding center, trying to make sure that Pierre is able to make it back, and successfully so. Not the right area.
Nice side air.
Oh, Square not able to make it back.
Fall. Yeah, clinging on to this second stock. If they can get rid of his stock, this could be good for the red team. But Squared playing this 2v1 very well, avoiding those opening moves for the red team, and now Cody, the only player left on his second stock, Made at risk of losing his final already.
Oh,
the grandpa's gonna catch on both though. Oh, but Square manages to make it back, and Cody going all the way up for the exhausted recovery, won't be able to find it. But in that time, Square did take a lot of damage, and now all of a sudden, it's looking a lot more doable for the red team if Made can just stay alive. That's a nice ground pound.
Wow.
Yeah,
Cody
just to make it back to side air.
so
Made
well.
gets caught by the weapon throw as well, and Cody left in the 2v1.
This is so doable for him, but definitely a struggling situation in the 1v2. Can't even seem to get a weapon. Finally able to pick up the axe, and Pierre just standing in front, knowing that Square is more damage, doesn't want him to get KO'd and get into a 1v1 situation.
Oh no!
Tara and Light's able to make it back.
He doesn't touch the wall! How is that not a touch?
Pixels were onto the
Standstill
wall.
moment, standstill moment, standstill moment.
Oh no. So close.
That is not how you want to end it as well. Don't give us the replay production. That hurts my soul.
Oh, heartbreak for Cody. Still a very hard situation, but could have had it. And the damage, so even if you look at the right side, but if you look at the left side, you talked about the team damage being very low, but quite a bit in that game.
It went up a little bit that game, yeah. I think it was just, 667 damage coming out of Cody Chavez in that game. Incredible performance, but Made just wasn't quite able to keep up pace. And you could really feel it in those last few games that Made just didn't have the confidence present for it. And that is honestly where it started to fall apart. So Pierre and Square are going to be moving forward in the bracket, and that is going to conclude our winners quarterfinal matches, leading us into the winners semi-final. And go ahead and tell me who our first match is coming up.
So we've got Luna and Experience versus Walshin Anime, and Luna and Experience played so well. I'm very excited for this because, Double Gauntlets in general just so good at flowing so well into team combos, but they seem to be so good at it independently of how good Double Gauntlets are. They're able to move into these team combos quite effectively. Walshin Anime in a very good set with Simba and Lampy, where they were able to clutch it out in that 5th game. And I think this will be very good. I think we're going to see a lot of, as opposed to the previous set, we're going to see a lot of team combos flowing into one another. What what Cody and Made were trying to do, but weren't able to do as much as they would like. We're going to see so much more of that from Luna Experience and Walshy and Anime for sure.
Absolutely, and I'm really looking forward to see how the matchup plays out with the canon that Experience will be bringing into this game, because I'm expecting most likely to see the Chronics coming in that we saw previously. Meanwhile, Walshy and Anime are running a Wushang cross comp, one that we've seen quite consistently today actually. Whether or not that persists, I think is going to be a very interesting element of this game coming in, because it's going to mean that we're going to have a weapon that we don't see too often in comparison to, you know, we see a lot of blasters, a lot of gauntlets, a lot of spear, a lot of cross, Wushang, Kotori in the 2 space. But Cross is a character that, while played relatively frequently, is played by specific players repeatedly, that being Snowy, Experience, and a number of other players in other regions as well. So how this is going to play into this matchup is really going to be a big determining factor as we go into the map striking for this first game. And yeah, we are seeing the Aang crossover and the Luke crossover versus the Luke crossover and Onyx. You love seeing Luke in 2v2s.
Absolutely, and 4 gauntlets. I believe this weapon might, you know, it might be a little good in 2s.
It's
definitely,
okay.
Particularly. It gets the job done. Let's move right into it. I love seeing when there's 2 Lukes on either side and they're in the center, moving into the game.
They're stancing off against each
each
other. They are stancing up.
Yeah,
You're going on to Apocalypse for this first game. Walshy and Anime versus Luna and Experience. And Experience already trying to get in with the cannon, finding those side airs and the follow-ups. Moving at incredible speed right here, but Anime slowing it down with the gauntlets, getting some good damage in. Interrupting that ground pound as well, and Luna... it's the positioning from this red team that makes them so scary. Luna seems to always be in the right spot for the follow-up, no matter what's going on. And I mean, even when he's on his own, we're seeing him absolutely cook up with these gauntlets right now. And Anime already in the red, less than 30 seconds into this game, but Experience in a similar position now.
Yeah, was beating him around, but all of a sudden now it's time for the KO. This is when they can shine on these gauntlets.
Oh, no.
Blue team just completely gone. Luna's edge guard's looking crisp already. Opting to stick to the gauntlets, hoping to build up a ton of damage onto whoever is unlucky enough to get caught into one of these stray hits. Luna getting stuck on a platform, but still, Blue team just not able to get these hits. Already in a combo, and this is
dangerous.
Not what you want to see.
Oh!
Not able to knock out Anime, but Walshy on his last stock already. We are barely 1 minute into this game.
Not again! Not again! Not again! Okay, initially... What? How? Don't 6-stock them. Please don't 6-stock them, bro. They have families. They're trying to make bread.
Think of the children. Will you not think of the children? Luna just giving them the stock. He thought of the kids, but Experience, no mercy.
He threw the 6-stock. He threw the 6-stock. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, yeah,
117 damage coming out of Anime that game.
Yeah, immediate character swap. That's one of those where you press C for keyboard players to move forward as fast as possible.
Yeah, just go next, go next. That game didn't happen. That game didn't happen. It's fine. Walshy immediately over onto the Val. Yeah, we're just sparring. Yeah, it was warm up, surely.
Yeah, in training mode. That was training mode, right?
Yeah, no. That was just chosen bots, man. It's fine.
Oh my god, what a series of combos. The same thing, but how are they able to just move into it when they know these are what they're going to be looking for? It's impressive to talk about the 2v2 combos, but the neutral it requires to start those up is so good.
And we're seeing it again!
Anime just... Oh man. Luna, deep red, Walshy not even a factor right now. Can't get in the middle of anything on this Val.
Do you think Luna knows that there's like real people behind these characters that he's beating up in game?
I don't think
just
so.
Like...
No,
it's just ones and zeros, bro. It don't matter.
Yeah, these are letters above a character. I don't see anything. No Twitter accounts, nothing. As Walshy barely surviving on this stock. Anime already lost his first one. Surprisingly tanked for quite a while, but the thing is they're not building a lot of damage, so no matter how long they survive, Red team is still in quite the advantageous position. Although, as I say that, Luna off the side. They elect for the 2v1 into Experience, not able to get it, and Luna finds the KO. Stock lead for the red team. Quite an advantage. Not as good as it was in the previous game, but still looking dominant in this game too.
experience, just trying to cook up with these gauntlets right now. But some nice dash jumps there coming out of Anime. Luna may fall here. The down air will secure it. Experience soon to follow with the weapon throw. And the blue team actually equalizing up almost perfectly here. Game number 2. And this is definitely a good change of pace for them, because after that first game, anything is a plus.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that this is even stock-wise, and although Walshy taking a lot of damage, it's just a much better position. This is just good in general for the mental. If Anime is able to clean this edge guard, it'd be so much better, but not able to do it. That being said, Walshy holding his own against Luna in the 1v1 while Experience was trying to hunt for an edge guard. And Anime disarmed, but comfortable, able to get the gauntlets and get a nice follow-up stage control for the blue team.
Oh, the double side sig!
The weapon throw almost does it! Finally able to do it! What a weapon throw! That was the martyrdom right there. As he's going down, just throws one out there and takes him out, and completely even game, which is not what we were expecting to see based on the first game experience. No options, he's done. Down to his last stock, and Luna with a weapon throw, but now he's disarmed. If he had hit that gauntlet dare, that could have been potentially the end of the game. A nice combo building up for the blue team, but the interruption. The blue team just building up such a nice advantage. Anime stock taking so much, Walshy quite hurt, but just getting a lot of these startups that Anime is able to get because he's standing in between whoever. The T6 just nukes him. Goodbye.
Did he even fly, or did he just like despawn? I didn't even see him like move. He just spawned out of the stock, to be honest.
But Walshy.
Oh no,
Walshy's
gonna fall.
Anime, this is kind of a good position for him though. Speed recovery up off the top. It is Apocalypse, so any stock tanking will be so much more effective here. Instinct not able to do it and hugging the wall and the platform, thankfully on this side right now, so that Anime can find a little bit of safety. It's a weapon. One strong hit will do it, but we know the combo power of the red team not able to get something off of that.
No, Luna's cooking.
Not gonna do it. The call recovery, 1v1. Experience. So hard.
Dash jump there isn't going to connect. This is a true lost situation. And Anime will clutch it out. The reverse falling Sair to secure the knockout and actually take the game in favor of the blue team, despite the destruction we saw in that first game. They managed to just, with a single legend swap, turn things around. And what I mean, it may have seemed like a immediate desperation pick out of Walshy to swap for the Val, but everyone needs to keep in mind there was a time not that long ago where Val was today's cross of 2v2s. Everyone was playing Val. Every single team had a Val. And and Walshy, even recently, was playing Val with QT. So Walshy is no stranger to this legend, no stranger to these SIGs or this weapon comp, and it is certainly showing in these games. Although, that being said, Luna trying to cook up Anime up the side right here, won't be able to find the knockout, but a decent chunk of damage dealt nonetheless, and the double gauntlets coming in from the red team. Very, very scary.
Yeah, lots of damage built up onto the blue team already. Red team without stage control, but oh no! Goes for a delayed Sair and just explodes off the right side for it. Now with stage control, but still red team just seems to play out of the corner so well in these situations. Able to find KOs where you would not expect it, particularly in the first stock, but knocked out. Walshy wants to stock tank here, particularly on Apocalypse, very effective. Anime almost getting edge guarded. It's pushed around, taking so much damage on the second stock. Not what you want to see if you're the blue team, but Luna not touched on the second stock. Standing right in between, hoping to so that Experience can just survive for a little bit longer. And Sig finally going to take him out. Walshy is so hurt. Finally going to get knocked out, but now is the scary part for Anime.
Oh no!
Oh, Gauntlet Blaster's recovery up off the top will do it. 10 days out of the week.
Yeah, the fact that that recovery carries you up while also pushing you off the top of that final blast gives blasters such a formidable vertical killing power, because that momentum it carries up means that the final blast is going to happen way higher up than where you started the move. And it shows a lot of the time. And right now, Luna just throwing out these D6.
Oh my God.
How? This is what I need. This is what I meant when I said Luna seems to always be in the perfect position for a follow-up, no matter where he is. He was, I'm pretty sure that was out of stun. That he just whipped out the GCN Sig for the perfect follow-up to find that knockout onto Anime. And now Walshy's the one in the 2v1. This time, 2 stocks on the board for Walshy, 2 stocks for both members of the red team total. But we've seen what they're capable of with these combos. Right now, there are a lot of unanswered sword hits coming out of Walshy, and we have to remember, Val, unknown to a lot of people, is a very tanky legend, very high defense. But, like, the archetype wouldn't suggest it, but her defense is quite high. Regardless, though, D-Net Recovery will send off the top, and now Luna and Experience looking to close out this game as soon as possible. Walshy truly has a mountain to climb here.
Yeah, if it helps, Val borderline identical stats. Oh no! Oh, this combo
what is that?
Not able to clean it up, but yeah.
Bye, Walshy. Bye, well played. Nice try, dude. I respect it.
Comboing with Blaster's sidelight is quite impressive in that situation.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, and although they weren't able to take it, maybe it was just mental damage. Well, she's not interested in playing that one out anymore. Knows that red team can clean up that game. Just wants to go next. It's very helpful for the mental to be able to just go next, not think about it, not have to get frustrated in a 1v2 situation, and just move right into the next game.
For sure, and going into game number 4 here, Walshy and Anime need to try and get this game 5 secured. I mean, we saw they're capable of it, although even when that one game did go in their favor, it was down to a last hit 1v1 situation clutch by Anime. So the blue team seriously needs some kind of big adaptation, especially in terms of pacing against the red team, because they seem to just not be able to deal with the speed at which they're getting knocked around, especially by Luna.
Yeah, the red team not giving them anything, although Luna gets saved with the ground pound. Walshy, aware of how Experience will try to save with gauntlets. Kind of a one-dimensional saving weapon, good for it, but you know what's coming, so able to ground pound off of that. And Experience holding his thing on the platform, not what he was hoping for a nice hit there, but double Sair. And all of a sudden, this red team not liking this position that they're in, although blue team is both quite hurt. Every hit on the Luna makes this game just a little bit scarier. Walshy standing in the 1v2, and Sig, interesting choice, but doesn't get KO'd for it. Dare will do it. Anime just wants to survive for these few seconds, some of the most important seconds of the game, but able to do it. No hits onto him, and Walshy back in the game, 2v2 situation for them. And exactly where you want to be. Sword and light, side Sig, able to take him out off the left side. Luna desperately trying to hug onto this wall, but the platform isn't there. It's such a scary position to be in.
These blasters by Luna have been so devastating though, and whether or not they find the offstage pressure is going to be massively important, but the weapon throw comes through. Luna has the recovery, and Experience is there to diffuse the pressure. Even though he didn't land anything big onto the blue team, he was there hovering over to say, okay, my teammate's getting back and I am going to get in your way. But regardless, the N-Sig is going to come through, and Luna will fall onto his final stock. Experience left alone off the side, hugging onto this wall. Luna is back on the stage, but no weapon in hand. Follow-up not going to go through that side stick. Luna just ripping out that haymaker to no avail, but the blue team is holding on to a small lead here that they've been holding on to for the majority of this game. But as I said, the N-Sig comes through, and Walshy falling relatively early onto his final stock.
I can't believe this game is even. This is insane. It's looking so good for the blue team at a moment, and then all of a sudden the game just moves right back into it. Experience barely surviving.
Oh, no.
Onyx, such a tanky legend. Still alive? Are you kidding me? Not gonna do it off the top. Love Apocalypse and Onyx for this map. And both teams.
Oh no, Anime's in Walshy ground pounding, his teammate clashes out. The save! The ground pound, Anime actually landing the touch. And both blue team members somehow managed to find their way back to the stage safely after that entire engagement. There was a moment there where they both could have just completely fallen down, but regardless, is it too little too late as Experience is incredibly healthy on this final stock. Walshy and Anime not so much. They need to get Luna out of here. But that Sair isn't going to do it. Walshy has an edge guard set up right here, but Luna, the exhausted recovery, is going to get back. And now it's looking a bit more dire for the blue team.
Luna's recoveries are so good. This game will get knocked out off the top, and both players of blue so hurt, but we know sword and gauntlets. Nope.
Oh no.
Up off the top. Cannon there. Now such a scary position for Anime. This might just be it. This could be the whole set. Anime, such a scary position. Able to make it back, but
recovery. And Experience is going to secure the 3-1 victory for the red team. very well played by Walshy and Anime. They surprised me, especially in that last game, at how close they made it, and they really had a strong shot at going into that game 5, but he just couldn't quite make it. Experience and Luna looking absolutely terrifying today, and that is I mean, look at that damage difference between those two teams. That was a last stock situation, and there was a like 300 damage difference.
Wow. It's a lot up to the early KOs in that situation, and I mean the damage can be a little deceiving, but the fact that it went that deep is pretty impressive. Although Experience was not very hurt on his final stock for sure, playing very impressively. And as we close out that set, it looks like up next we have Dawg and Q against Pierre and Squared. Paco, thoughts?
I mean, I do have thoughts on that match, but unfortunately my main thought that's appearing in my head is that we are actually going to be going to a break following that set, if I am not mistaken. And so for that reason, I'm going to have to ask everyone to sit tight and stick around, because obviously the stream is not quite ending here. We have so much amazing top 8 action coming at you real soon after the break. Anything else you want to say, Serge?
Happy to move to break.
Sorry about that.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Moose Wars Frozen Fury. I am A Surge returning with Jerry Boy, and we will be leading you through the elimination side of things, as we see in our next set, which is Java and Fakey and Simba and Lampy, who we saw earlier. The set I'm honestly pretty excited for. How about you?
Yeah, I'm very excited as well. I will definitely be interested to see. There will be a lot of gauntlets here. The only person that really stands out, apart from that, is Java, which we saw him in the quarterfinals on the winner's side with the odd bar that he is very well known for, especially throughout 2021. But I'll be interested to see how he will match up against double gauntlets of Simba and Lampy. We saw them earlier with the Wushang and the Cross, which seems to be a very popular pick, especially in North America, which something that I can admire the North Americans for. It is for their consistency. They know exactly what they can pull out team combos just on the spot, getting those knockouts extremely quickly in the 2v2 scene. So it's something that I especially with gauntlets being the way they are at the moment, follow-ups are super simple, they're easy to perform. A lot of the signature kits that people use in the 2v2s will KO quite early, so it will definitely be very interesting to see how they play out. If I had to pick who I reckon would take it out, something tells me that Simba and Lampy might just have it over the edge over Java and Fakey. Java obviously not as well known for his 2v2s compared to his 1v1s, and part of me thinks that maybe the Bodvar and the Hammer, although Hammer is very good at the moment, it might be a little bit of a hindrance compared to a double gauntlet of Simba and Lampy.
Yeah, it's definitely the battle of meta versus... I mean, it's not to say that Bodvar is an off-meta pick right now, but when you're playing against double gauntlets, that is the meta for twos right now, and when you're running Scythe and Hammer, it's a little different. But personally, I remember from the previous set that we saw, Simba and Lampy, that Lampy was going in. He was doing so much damage in every game except for the final one, and I am very excited to see Lampy hopefully continue in the next game. I think I agree with you that we're going to see Simba and Lampy maybe take this out. I think it'll be quite a lot of games, Game 4, Game 5 particularly, but I think they're going to have the edge. And I do think you're right with the double gauntlets just flowing so much better into each other's twos combos, whereas Scythe and Hammer just don't have that as much, particularly in the 2v2 situations where Scythe really can't grab both people, right? The Dare and the Nair will single one person out, which is not really what you're looking for in those situations, but it is still exciting, definitely, to see the Java Bodvar back in action. I'm so happy. I mean, I will say that I really enjoyed seeing the Hattori and the Ember in the past couple months, but the Bodvar is what I've really been missing since over a year ago, before the patch where they nerfed Hammer. I'm excited to see it, and Fakey's Scythe is really fun to watch, something I've been enjoying watching recently, in particular in the Winter Championships. Watching Fakey just play phenomenally on that Scythe. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, something that you might see from Fakey with this, with Java as well, is you might not see, compared to Simba and Lampy, you might not see a huge amount of 2v2 combos, but what you'll definitely see is Fakey, especially on Scythe, just pulling away the opponent, keeping them off the stage, off the center, so just to let Java just run wild with his Hammer, which we've seen time and time again, but Simba and Lampy have been looking very good at the moment. It will be a tough contest between the two of them. Whoever wins through this will go into the elimination semi-finals as we get underway here in Game 1. We're on APOC. Java and Lampy, the ones to get the first weapons.
Yeah, lots of room, high ceiling, and nice stage control already for the red team, building up some nice damage. That you could tell these gauntlets and Spear just working so well together. And the stage control just working wonders for the red team so far, building up nice damage on Java, who's already into the red, trying to go to the top of the screen, not safe for him. He gets hit, knocked down, but the edge guarding is where the blue team wants to be. Both of them clearly have worked on this in ranked and potentially training it already.
That's another edge guard. Lampy is gone, a second ground pound and gets the KO. Blue team, they do have the advantage. We saw it, Fakey was the one to take them off stage, and then Java just had Hammer. When you have a ground pound and a recovery that you do on Hammer, you're just gonna send stocks flying off stage. Lampy with downline recovery, not gonna get the KO on Fakey just yet. Java's still going off stage, even with the sword. Fakey at the moment trying to regain center, pushing Simba away, but the gauntlet recovery not enough to get the KO just yet again. Fakey does well to actually take Java out of that blaster down air, but still a lot of work to be had. Fakey is surviving on this stock very nicely at the moment. Yeah, it only will probably take another recovery to get the knockout on him, which Java's gonna have to be careful because he's in the orange just now as Lampy with a beautiful follow-up, and Fakey is gone. There is a huge deficit between Fakey and Java in terms of their health at the moment. In terms of their stocks even, as they are in an entire stock lapse almost, which if Red Team really focus on Java, it's an early 2v1 for Fakey.
Yeah, Fakey in some trouble. This is not where you want to be because you have to ask so much out of Scythe, which feels like it's able to get punished a little bit more in these 2v1 situations, moves that last a little bit longer than you might hope for, maybe the sword, for example. But Fakey off the top and a gauntlet recovery! What a beautiful combo from the red team, and now a 2v1, 2 stocks apiece for the red team, both in red, but I don't know, man. This it's looking pretty tough for Fakey right now.
This is exactly what I was talking about earlier, where Java's stock would disappear on the fly, and now the team combos. Lampy takes out his own teammate, but he gets the side signature on the pro, and game 1 goes to Simba and Lampy.
131 damage on Java. Simba cannot be stopped. He has 600 damage and KO'd his own teammate because he got in the way. That's the grind set. Do not get in my way. I will KO you right off the top. I do not care. Beautiful gameplay from the red team there. Just cleaning up Java's stock so quickly. Just generally, if you consider the earnings, the PR, just the stats in general between those two players, you would expect that Fakey would be the one who would struggle in these matches, but Fakey is completely holding his own. It's Java who's struggling. Switches off of the hammer and onto the Val, probably a better twos pick, but still, you have to combo with another Scythe, and Fakey has been doing more damage with the Scythe in these games. He clearly opts for it more often in these situations. So, while I do like the switch, because the Val is just such a strong legend in these situations, but you never know. It may not be enough. But hopefully trying to build back in the second game after what was a bit of a brutal showing, the nearly, I think, 3 stock, essentially in 2s, by the red team.
Java swapping off the hammer and opting for the gauntlets. As we see yet another quadruple gauntlets coming out. There are, you see already the team combinations from Java and Fakey already working out. They're still taking them off stage. Simba in a lot of trouble at the moment. Gets down there by his own teammate, but Lampy does get the ground pound onto Java again. And there is a lot of damage built up onto Simba and Lampy at the moment, as Simba goes flying from the sideline into the recovery, but the stock deficit at the moment, Fakey's doing really well to survive, and that might be something that Java is going to have to adjust to super. But nice follow-up there from Java to get that side air, pushing Lampy off stage. They all make their way back. No! The recovery slightly just dropping, couldn't get the hard part of the recovery to work out, but nevertheless, they do end up getting the KO from that regardless. Java opting to keep the gauntlets instead of going for the sword. A double recoveries flying around everywhere. Seeing a lot of sidelights, a lot of recoveries coming out from these North Americans. Absolute demon time at the moment.
This is such it's an odd lead to have because while you're in the lead, and now even much bigger now, Simba on his final stock, much better situation for the red team. Even if Java loses his stock, which most certainly will not, the other recovery will not KO off the top here, saving him because he knows there's reduced knockback when you hit your teammate. Fakey and Java stock taking so hard here. Java definitely wants to be the one to survive, but they're finally going to clear it out, and a mostly even situation. I mean, if you ignore the health percents, Lampy in the red, a little scary, but if they're able to find the stock on Java, or at least build sizable enough damage onto him, they can clean up this game, because at the moment it is looking a little bit scary for the blue team. Java, though, has not taken a lot of damage, and Sword and
that's a
gauntlets,
nice
you know
neutral
what it can do.
Oh no!
Not where you want to be against Fakey and Java off stage. Still, they're still hunting for him. Pretty much every other team we've seen has opted for stage control, but Fakey and Java, they go down there.
Yeah, Java and Fakey at the moment they have definitely adjusted this this game in the set.
Oh my God!
Double recovery! He's gonna lose a stock for it, but he takes out Lampy in the process. Huge off stage give there by Fakey. It's put blue team in an amazing position to get this 2v1 against Simba. He doesn't have many options. He does make it back to stage though, still trying to go against Fakey, even though he's in the red. Expect a side stick from Java, and 1-1 is the score.
Alright, we need to see the replay on that Scythe KO. It was so beautiful. Alright, here's Sair, Nair, another Sair, and then double recovery. What a read! Maybe recovers high in that situation, which is very scary to do against Scythe, but at that point, you either get dared or you get recovered. So, quite a scary position to be in for Lampy, and what a way to win a game from Fakey. Just coming in clutch when they needed it most, because Java was on his last stock and Fakey knew he had to make something happen. He did. Out of nothing, just a complete stock as we get back into this next game.
Yeah.
Back to Fortress.
Fakey in that clip literally just put Lampy just on a staircase, just went up you go, up you go, up you go. Oh, you have been KO'd now. What are you gonna do? You're gonna lose a game for it. Oh dear. He just staircased him, put him in checkmate, and that's how you win your tournaments, ladies and gentlemen. Just put your opponent in a really bad position for them. Obviously, that's how you win every video game that has ever existed. Nice GC side-sig there by Simba though. Gets another side-sig onto Java as they pull their attention towards Fakey. Java, exclamation marks, bleeding out, but no, he does make it back in time. Fakey still going up against Lampy. He's done it again. Removed all of his options as he removed all of his own. He doesn't make it back though. The dodge not going to help him. Java gets KO'd by the GC sidelight into the Nair from Lampy. That is a lot's happened already, and we're only a minute down in this game.
Yeah, what a beautiful edge card from Simba, the GCT line. I do not see that coming. He catches the dodge, but the interruption from Java immediately gets in there, running interference, knowing that he would get a double D-lighted there from Spirit. Not where you want to be. Even in twos, still very tough. And it feels like Simba's Spear is just owning this game right now. Still not that hurt on this first stock, just doing so much damage with these side sigs. Off stage now against Java, not where you want to be.
Whoa.
Beautiful dodge, but
No.
completely checkmated.
Missed the side air, and then Simba goes around. Java still has enough recovery frames to be able to get a GC neutral signature out, spiking Simba down as Fakey is going for Lampy yet again, but no, Lampy does survive this time. Nice side signature there from Fakey as Simba takes out his teammate. Oh, Java trying to make his way back. He does make his back eventually. Maybe a little bit of a untoward recovery there. Could have been punished, but it is 2v2, so a lot of things that you can get away with, you can't. And a lot of things you can't get away with, you can. Confusing game mode. Yeah. I'm gonna be really honest. That's a nice side signature onto Fakey as he's on his last stop. GC side signature from Java. He's teammate saves. He does make it back. Fakey doesn't have anything, and that.
No way, he's alive.
GC exit from there. Java does make it back. He can complete a 1v2, but not before getting team combo, getting sent out all the way to the side. Lampy hitting his own teammate. I swear he's doing that on purpose. And now Java's just hanging around the edge, hoping not to get caught in a team combo again, which would result in a KO, especially at his health at the moment. Trying to get the side airs onto Simba. He's taking him off stage. Recovery sends him up high. Another side air onto Java. Boom! Double weapon throw comes down. Java doesn't have anything. 2-1 to Simba and Lampy.
I love twos. Right at the end, someone taunts and the other one's like, no, stop doing that. It just hits him as the other guy's falling down. That game, that offstage interaction just shows, even though they lost the interaction, that the blue team is so good at saving each other in those situations. They've clearly worked it out. Who does what, who saves what, and how. Because, I mean, both players on the blue team should have been done and dusted maybe like 3 to 4 different times in that situation, and only one of them got knocked out and the other one barely lived that GC Ensig. I love watching Java play off stage, and Fakey clearly up to his level as well. What an interaction. We move into the next game, even with that interaction, blue team seem to be struggling a little bit. And hopefully they're able to make some kind of adjustment because it's looking a little rough right now.
Yeah, we do notice that Java has swapped back to his beloved Bodvar. As just a reminder, this is the elimination side of the bracket, so if Java and Fakey lose here, they are out of the tournament and they finish in 7th. So if you're a Simba Lampy fan, you have one more game to win until you get yourself into a beautiful top 4 finish potential. But at the moment, it's just trying to figure out the neutral game. It's only early game at the moment here in game 4. Nice punish again by Fakey, sending Lampy up high, gets a Sad, tries to get a second one, but he avoids it. Java now getting a couple hammer strings. Nice mutual signature there from Fakey. Everyone's off stage. A lot of damage built up onto this red team comparatively to the blue team. That's, at the moment, they're really trying to sort it out. Hard side light. Simba is off stage. Nice stomp into the side air. The hammer doing wonders for Java. He does swap over to the sword, though, as Simba loses his first stock. Another down air. A lot of damage built up onto Lampy. Oh no, a little bit of a mishap there with the hitboxes, but nothing extreme happens out of it. Java missing a follow-up opportunity off of his opponent.
Oh my god!
Oh, nice down air. That's going to take out Lampy. He's going to be on his final stop and not even a minute and 15 seconds into game 4.
What an edge guard from Fakey. The ground pound, and he misses it and still has enough time for the Derek catches the recovery. I mean, what do you do in that situation? You just get checkmated. It's like this crazy. Both these players have such good offstage with their weapons. Fakey wants to build time, but even if he loses the stock, he's completely comfortable on it. It would still be a sizable lead for the blue team. Red team not where you want to be. Simba with 1 stock left. D-Light Nair not going to do it. And
yeah, Scythe in, I swear, Scythe in Brawlhalla, it's just like the knight in chess. It moves a little bit funky. It has, it has its implications. You don't know exactly what it's gonna do. You're always unaware of what the knight will do. But, one move into another and you have your opponent in a fork where it's like, you either don't survive from this or your teammate doesn't survive from this. Take your pick, as Fakey has been put onto his last stock. Java tried to get the swipe onto Lampy, but he makes his way up as Simba gets the ground pound, gets the dominating effect, which, just 3 knockouts without one of your own. Lampy at the moment trying to take Java off stage with that GC downlight into the Nair. All but gauntlets except for Java at the moment. If a stock can be taken off Simba, it could be looking really nice. On the recovery, DI!
Wow.
Lampy saves his teammate with a recovery. Fakey hits a recovery on him. Simba DIs and gets knocked out for it, and now Lampy has to deal with a 1v2.
Yeah, no matter where you die, right into the blast zone. And Red Team played that so well, and this is kind of the situation you have to be in, but really not what you want. What a combo.
Oh, crazy! He doesn't get the KO though. Ground pound almost does it.
Team edge guard, no problem.
Will do it. Java just hitting his own teammate as we go into game 5. Alright. Yeah, they're just fighting at each other one after another. Red Team gets a good game, and then Blue Team fights back with it. Then Red Team gets another game, and then Blue Team comes out with that for a game 5. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my goodness.
What a game. Wow. I'm still stuck on the double recovery, because he gets saved, and then Fakey immediately. No, you know what you're doing. Gauntlet, kind of a one-dimensional save weapon in that situation as we go into this game 5. And Blue Team has really pulled back. I felt like Red Team had such a good advantage for a lot of that game, and then towards the middle of it on those second stocks, it just wasn't able to do it. And moving right back into it, double gauntlets out, the combo potential that they have, could easily one hit into a long string, but right now, not able to find it. Stomp and Dare gonna move Lampy up. Fakey just weaving in and around while Java wants to stay completely in the same position and just beat out your approach option. Nice stage control. Weapon start pretty successful. Fakey wants the scythe. Red team holding stage against Fakey, but able to make it back because Java ran really good interference.
Yeah, it's at the moment there is a lot of damage onto Fakey, which, oh no, dodge burn, another sideline recovery onto him on Lampy's gauntlets instead. But at the moment it's between these two, it's looking a lot more like an even match. There is definitely a lot more damage onto the blue team as that GC downline into the recovery from Lampy is gonna knock out Fakey. At the moment they're really just, man, I am lost for words. That's how blown away I am at this game.
What an insig.
Nice! That was a nice ending there. I was surprised that picked up, honestly. I keep forgetting that Sig on Bodbar actually hits grounded.
Yeah.
Like, there's a part of me that just forgets about that Sig, and then it just hits you in the face. Literally picks you up and hits you in the face and sends you across to the other side of the blast zone.
That's 100 levels of Bodvar knowledge right there. Java with a nice, solid edge guard onto Simba. As they go back into it, Java stock ticking so hard. Look at the color he's in! He's so deep red. Still able to survive, and he's playing so aggressively. He knows that if he gets KO'd, it's completely fine, but red team not able to find it on him. Even hunting for these snares, not able to get a deal like Simba.
That was a nice save by Fakey. Lampy would have definitely gone for a side air or possibly a recovery. There goes a neutral signature. Team combo. Oh no, the downline doesn't connect. Oh, just spacing just got a little bit off there at the moment. A GC neutral signature from Lampy gets punished though by Java. And now at the moment, there's a lot of damage built up onto this red team as a neutral signature on the hammer comes out. Chase dodge burnt, sidelight, neutral signature, that's going to get the KO confirmed hits there. As as right now, Simba and Lampy are on tournament stop right now.
Yeah, Simba and Lampy in trouble. The winner of this will move on, but no!
Oh no, oh the DI there from Simba, that could be huge! But he can't save his teammate, huge combo from Java and Fakey. Simba doesn't have anything, he's got nothing at all! Fakey and Java take it like that? Are you crazy?
Wow, that's how it had to end with those two. I mean, okay, he's done, right? He has no more options. Okay, we're gonna hit him again, and again, and again, and again, and he has no chance of getting saved by any of these. They're so good at that. The edge guards are so strong, and even though he DIs out of the the combo where they got moved into, it's fine, because they'll just clean up Lampy, and then the 2v1 is so simple for them. And they can move right back into it. He's ground pounded, even though he misses the dare, he's still alive, and that makes it so hard because Java can just in with one or two strong moves. A little bit of style to finish it out from Java. Chase dodges the weapon throw, another Sair. We'd love to see it as Java and Fakey move on to, at minimum, a 4th place finish, and Simba Lampy out of the elimination side at 7th. So we move into our next set between Hardy and Stingray and Maid and Cody. Something I think I'm pretty excited for. It was pretty fun to watch Hardy and Stingray. How about you, Jerry?
Yeah, it's definitely two very interesting team combinations. Hardy and Stingray, they've, showed up a couple times on, I believe, Luna's stream when Luna and Experience were trying to figure out the team chemistry a little while ago. And the Vrax and the Jaehyun combination, look, it's probably the most wild thing I think I've seen from NA in a while. And it seems to be working at the moment. They've gotten themselves into a top 8, but they have Maid and Cody Travis, who, it's a tough wall to break. Obviously, Cody Travis, one of the long timers, especially in the 2v2 scenario with his Barraza. Maid, obviously, last year winning the mid-season championship with Experience. I believe Maid got 4th in BCX as well with Experience. Was it 4th? I think, yeah, it was 4th because Pugsy, it was 4th. So, there is a lot of game knowledge and a lot of powerhouse behind both of these teams. Look, it's going to be a really tight contest. That much I can say. Like, I don't even know where to call this. I actually don't know where to call this. I really don't.
Yeah, this may be the first time I have ever casted Vector in a 2v2 match. Stingray has locked it in, and we are in map select. So It's going to come out as the Vector. It was the Lord Vrax earlier, and now switching off of blasters for bow, probably a downgrade as far as 2v2 weapons are concerned, but we know that they're not really concerned with that being on Greatsword Lance. So pretty much what they're most comfortable on, and I'm sure they've lapped quite the combos between the two of them. They're both players who sit in training a lot between the two of them, and Stingray already getting some nice juggles off the top. Bo's so good at that with the Nair and like recovery, just so great at juggling people. Well, Max, no slouch either. Nair and GC D-Light Hardy already quite hurt on this first stock.
Look, I don't mean to point out the elephant in the room, but something tells me that Stingray hasn't realized that we're not using experimental features in a tournament. So he's not going to get the cool little down sig that you would get if you played experimental, as Hardy just sends a side ass taking out Cody. But at the moment, it seems to be Stingray has been more useful on the bow, hasn't really picked up the lance as much as we get into almost the first minute of this game. A lot of damage built up onto Made, not even that downlight Nair is going to take him out, but a Nair on the Greatsword from Hardy, as a lot of damage is being built up on this edge guard. That's a nice side air though, but wasn't able to finish off. Try to get a down air chase again. I swear, Cody has been off stage for the longest amount of time. He finally touches something, but not before he is in the red. Made ends up searing his own teammate. Recovery, Made can't get the save just enough in time, but Breakdance is going to end up taking out Cody's stock. And now we have it's starting to look like a bit of a fumble at the moment for the blue team. Cody did take out Stingray earlier with that axe side air, as Hardy gets sent flying on the unarmed of Made. But Stingray just hanging himself in the air at the moment. That neutral air beats out a Gauntlet down air? Hello?
Yes. If you time it perfectly, it's a nice little disjointed hitbox that people don't expect because it's such a close-hitting move. But, I mean, red team is so ahead right now. Made just... Yeah. Oh, no.
Made's not going to be able to make it back. Neither is Cody. That down air on the Greatsword was going to be enough. Hardy already with the early taunt. As both of these players, Stingray.
Oh my god!
Oh my days!
Knew he was gonna go for it.
Oh, Stingray! Oh, someone call the ambulance, please!
Oh, Stingray, man, that guy puts on a show. Some players do not put on a show. He puts on a show. All right, he wants to show everyone what's up. He's so good at that lance. Just reading the jump and then the hold down the side sig on Vector. I mean, really, I don't even know if it was a hold down. That sig is very confusing. It hits a lot, but quite the read. And even if he doesn't hit that, it's such a difficult situation for the blue team. So, right back into it. I mean, red team just dominated that game. They were edgeguarding Cody for a century. When Cody came back, it was like when an astronaut landed after being in space for a year. He must have kissed the ground and it's so happy to be alive. It was insane to watch. Beautiful edgeguarding gameplay from the red team, clearly on top of it, the same way that we were seeing from Java and Fakey.
We're seeing it at the moment. It's interesting with the team comp of Hardy and Stingray. It's not exactly conventional by any means, but at the moment they do seem to have it working. Bow is a little bit of a peculiar weapon for the 2v2s. Stingray getting a nice couple down airs, gets that down signature there onto Made. He does make it back, try to go for a whale of a ground pound, but he is going to make it back just in time. Both players get blasted down air. Hardy trying to make his way back. The weapon throw does give him a little bit of space. Nice follow up there by Made. Yeah, how is Stingray alive, man? Oh, no, Hardy isn't. As the recovery takes out his stock, Stingray just holding the side signature. I guess that works.
Red team's still in a fairly good position. I mean, Cody's quite hurt on the second stock, and that's not what you want to see if you're the blue team, because the red team can just squeeze on him. The second that Made loses this stock in a 2v1 situation for Cody, it's not where you want to be. And so they probably want to play around the side of the map with the platform. 2v1 here, but Cody knocking them both around. Cody has hands here. He says, I want to be in this 2v1. This is exactly what I want. Let him cook.
Yeah, no, Stingray has been... Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Vector's signatures are a little bit... Oh my goodness, what a follow-up there from Hardy to take out Cody. He's on his last stock now in game 2. I even forgot my complete train of thought. I think I've just been talking about Vector. I don't know. I'm a bit of a fangirl for Vector. I'm not gonna
Now, Vector Signature is so good for 2v2 combos, honestly. Like, a pretty underrated character for the 2v2s, particularly because of the weapon combo. The signatures are not bad for it, and oh my god, Mage is getting beat around on the second stock. And to be fair, Hardy's quite hurt on his last stock, so this is not a bad situation for the blue team. Despite how much damage Mage has been taking, he's on his second stock. He kind of really wants that, because he'd rather take damage than Cody to take damage. Mage knocked to the side, not going to do it. Side sig on the Stingray, he'll be okay, but Hardy in such a terrible spot. He's more damaged than his teammate, despite having a less stock.
Yeah, it's oh my goodness, what a nice follow-up there by Stingray. Hardy is going to be extra careful now, because I say that, and his teammate roundhounds him, so I don't know who's to blame in there. Yeah, it's definitely, I don't know, definitely Stingray's fault there if Hardy dies, if Hardy dies here. That's a nice side there. Made's on his last stock. Cody really trying to hunt for another stock, try to get a hold of the Stingray, but he wasn't able to. Hardy just sticking in the corner. Honestly, it's at this point just letting. Oh my goodness, there goes Stingray. He's on his last stock now. Hardy's just kind of letting Stingray 1v2, which it doesn't work for long as Hardy is gone. His last stock is gone. Made tries to get a bit more damage. That's a nice neutral air there. That's crazy. Now the team combo happening. Oh, trying to get the side blade, but a lot of damage still built up onto Stingray at the moment. Cody still has to be careful. There won't be much that will save him here as Made gets sent flying. Stingray gets knocked to the sky, makes his way back, down unarmed, downlight recovery there, trying to find a weapon here, gets sided. Cody keeping him away from a weapon. Stingray doesn't make it back to Haymaker, but Made's gonna clean him up. 1-1 right now is the score.
Wow. Man, he almost did that. Stingray clearly almost did that. And I kind of want to bring attention to the fact that there was a 2v1 combo going on, and Stingray opted for the Lance D-Sig. And honestly, I really just have to respect the audacity to move that Sig in a combo. Even though it's getting phased out of the game, maybe, with the new experimental feature. But oh my god, if we had seen a combo that involved that Sig, it would have been wonderful. Unfortunately, it missed and they did lose the game, but still very funny that they went for the option. And lots of team damage, honestly, for the red team in there. That might have been what really hurt them. 165 is a lot. And if they can clear that up, I think they did look good for a lot of that game, and they can take this third game.
I have strong belief in Stingray and Hardy at the moment, but Made and Cody, they're no pushovers, you know. We're not playing friendly twos, even though that might look like the team comp for Stingray and Hardy, as Hardy gets sent into the sky. It's not going to be enough to get the KO just yet, maybe on a different map, but at the moment these two teams really seem to be loving the apocalypse as of right now. Hardy trying to get a lot of this damage built up, gets a nice down and nice side signature there from Stingray, gonna take out Cody. And a huge raid as Hardy gets sent flying, as well as Made. Stingray's just on another level at this point.
Shades of Dolan in Southeast Asia with that sidelight Nair GCN sig. What an option!
Yeah, SEA Dolan is foaming at the mouth just looking at this Stingray Vector gameplay. And probably as Modi. I'm gonna be honest, as Modi would be very impressed. Maybe, I don't know, I'd have to ask him.
Yeah, but very, very impressive on the Vector coming out so far. And pretty even game. Made and Hardy both taking a lot of damage. It seems to be the strategy for the blue team to just dare on blasters, just bouncing on each other. And what are they gonna do? They're gonna DI it? Like, no, come on. What does that?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? DI? No, we'll just keep you stun locked forever. That's all it is.
Yeah, what?
Why else would we do anything else? Oh my goodness, side signature there, not enough to get rid of Cody, but Hardy again on his last stock. Nair into the recovery there from Cody as everyone. Oh, Made just missing that gauntlet neutral signature there. The double cross at the moment from this blue team seems to be a lot more effective than the Barraza that was coming out in that game one. But it is a very tight contest at the moment. There is a lot of damage on Stingray as well as Cody, and either one could fault at the moment. Hardy's damage is a little bit of a deficit at the moment. He's gonna have to make sure to, you know, be a little bit slower, be a bit more patient, try not to run into too many blaster down airs, because that could hurt him quite a lot. Stingray getting sent out to the side. It was a 1v2 opportunity for the blue team, but couldn't find anything of couldn't find any fruit to bear from it. A double side air ends up. I think I might have seen a little bit of a DI from Stingray there. I'm gonna be honest, but at the moment that he is just finally on his last stock. Hardy trying to make his way back. Both blue team getting edge guarded, but they make their way over the top of Stingray. Oh, nice nair into the recovery. That's even gonna get the KO as Stingray gets a side air now to 1v2.
What a dare.
So Cody gets down it and 2-1. And Stingray took all 6 knockouts with 700 damage. Hardy, you can't be getting carried that hard. You actually cannot be getting carried that hard. You are playing Greatsword.
Yeah, Stingray playing phenomenally right now. Playing out of his mind against Made and Cody. Really good gameplay from this Vector, which, I mean, part of it is that the damage, it happens like that when you take a lot of damage early and all of a sudden you don't want to play so aggressive, so your damage is going to be lower. And so it's a testament to how good Stingray is, filling the role of trying to step in front of Hardy, trying to make sure that he's able to survive on these starts, and able to do so far. Because that lead was a little deceptive, right? If they're able to take Hardy's stock, then all of a sudden Stingray's in a pretty terrible spot. But not able to do it. Stingray's still in this game playing so well. Hardy kind of holding his own, honestly, against the blue team, not getting edge guarded and doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, he might be holding his own for once. It took him 3 games to wake up. But as Stingray again, that's a nice down air there from Hardy. As this blue team is looking more, it's looking, the cracks are starting to show for this blue team right now against this inhumane team composition, which I would expect this from like Australia. Like I can definitely see something like this happening in Oz. North America, y'all okay? Like everyone's playing gauntlets, and then it's Stingray Hardy just doing whatever the hell they want, and it's working for them. Oh no, there's a recovery. There goes Stingray. He's been put onto his second stock. Hardy clinging onto the wall for dear life as the side air connects. 1v2 possibility potentially, but no, gets interrupted. Hardy gets hit by his own teammate on the recovery. Team composition happening. Nope, can't get the combo to pull off just there.
Double dare again. He can DI this, by
oh
the way.
My goodness! Well, that DI was a little bit funny.
Yeah, he DI'd it up, which is probably not what you want to do in that situation. I think you're more likely to get KO'd off the top than to the side.
That's a bit of a silly, goofy moment, not gonna lie.
Yeah, Hardy, the only one that isn't in red on this middle stock, and what the red team wants to do is they want to squeeze out one of them, and the blue team really trying to take out Stingray, but not gonna happen. Oh no, Made!
No, Made!
Oh, not gonna survive.
No, tournament stock for both of these blue team members here. If both of them lose their stock in this game now, it is over for them. They'll finish in 7th, and it's not gonna be pretty.
Cody just getting knocked around by this greatsword too. Look how hurt he is already. But Blaster Recovery is going to do it, but he's in such a scary position. This 2v1 is not as scary for Hardy as it probably should be. Although, as I said, well, double down, he can that.
Double down here, okay.
It really
whatever floats your boat. If you want to like just double down here straight up on blasters, yeah, whatever floats your boat. Hardy.
I don't think it's floating their boat right now. They're in a pretty rough spot.
Yeah, their boat is definitely sinking. Their boat hit an iceberg. And Jack is trying to hold on to a piece of ice, but he's definitely getting a bit too cold.
Double Dare did not float the Titanic. It is looking rough for blue team right now. Cody getting knocked so far in a really rough position. Both players deep red, could get knocked out by any hit pretty much from the greatsword and a strong hit out of bow. And Stingray, all of a sudden, a desync knocks him out. Where knocks him up will do it. Red team knocking out Cody and Made out at 7th while the red team moves on. Hardy and Stingray are going to fight Walshy and Anime.
Walshy and Anime, if Made and Cody Travis was a hurdle, Walshy and Anime will be an entire mountain.
Yeah.
It's Walshy and Anime. They got themselves into the winners semifinals. Maybe got knocked around a little bit by Luna and Experience, who obviously have won tournaments on their own, and with a teammate, I guess, if you want to count that. But nicely played there by Made and by Cody Travis. But they fall out at 7th, and we are going to find ourselves here in the elimination quarterfinal. It will be Walshy and Anime against Hardy and Stingray. So, Walshy and Anime expects something, again, a little more conventional, comparatively to Hardy and Stingray. I can't remember what they used for their team comp last. Was it the Wusheng Cross as well? It might have been.
I believe so. I'm sure. Look, even if you had never seen the set before, I think we're going to be looking at some gauntlets. If I had to take just a guess, I believe there's going to be some gauntlets in this next set coming up. More than anything, maybe double gauntlets, but still, Stingray, Vector, locking it in again. This pick is, I don't know, man. I was a little skeptical at the start of the game, but man, did it work. I mean, he hit a crazy combo and was just dominating every game. Stingray continues to impress. I mean, even, you know he's a great player, and he still impresses you with everything he does. Just such an aggressive player at a lot of these times. The reads are incredible from him, honestly.
Yeah, my question to you is, who do you think takes this out? Do you reckon Stingray and Hardy push through, or does Walshy and Anime stop them in their tracks?
Man, I don't know. It's so hard. I would want to say, I feel like, based just alone on character picks, that Walshy and Anime should do it, but Stingray and Hardy were playing very good. Stingray in particular, just 600 damage each game, just dominating. So I feel like it's kind of who's playing hot right now, and Stingray is playing hot, and I think we'll see Stingray clean it up. 5 games, more than likely, but I'm expecting a very, very good set.
It will be a good set regardless. It is the conventional, it's the conventional against the chaos. Yet again, that's what this is as we go at and which I won't be surprised, which at the moment, yeah, NA seems to love Apocalypse, Demon Island, or Small Fortress of Lions. They seem to be the only maps that they are willing to go to. If there is anything that NA is known for, it is consistency. They're consistent and they're superstitious. That's all I can legally say. That is all.
Yeah, I mean, these maps are nice, and I think a lot of it is that all 3 of those maps have very high ceilings. Apocalypse, definitely the highest, but it's a lot of being able to survive as long as possible because you think everyone thinks that they are better, and if they get more time to prove that they are better and live longer, then maybe they can do it. As Stingray almost getting the read on Anime already, the ground pound, he's in so much trouble, but Walshy with the interrupt hits both of them and no edge guard coming from it. A team that is very good at double edge guarding so far. Stingray, GCN not gonna do it.
Yeah, Walshy has been sent up into the sky. Stingray gets Anime as well, but he does make his way back. Downlight side air is gonna knock out Anime as Stingray gets hit by a launching flying kick from the loop. But look, stocks a piece and are even. Nice down air into the nair there by Hardy as Stingray cleans up Walshy's stock. Now they can have a go at Anime. They are just juggling him at the moment. They're kicking him around like a soccer ball right now. It is insane. Just playing keepy ups with Anime is a little bit interesting.
Hardy has been barely hit on this first stock. He is owning right now. And
he's now into red. Ooh, that spear recovery does actually get the KO. That's quite interesting.
Aster's Curse, he just immediately gets eliminated. Not even close. And they're not going to do it, but...
Oh my goodness, Anime off the ground from downtown? Hello?
That was a phenomenal
punish, Hardy gets the punish on. Walshy trying to send Stingray up into the sky. Right to get the downlight into recovery, which he ended up succeeding. And now, red team are 2 stocks ahead.
Red team looking so good right now. This bow from Stingray looking phenomenal as he's knocked to the side by the NSYNC Spear blasters. No lead is safe against this weapon combo, honestly. One end light will do it. Not able to follow up off of that. Slips onto the platform and end lights instead of what was more than likely a nair, probably. As Anime trying to play around Stingray, just not doing it. Stingray with just the raw ground pound, sending him flying. Stingray building so much damage as Hardy walling out Anime. The end sig is going to send both of them out. Stingray trying to edge guard, not able to do it, but Walshy in such a terrible position right now. Not where you want to be. Takes Gauntlet recovery. Puts this into 1 stocks to 2. Stingray in light yellow, not KO percent for Gauntlets in the slightest, and all of a sudden 1 hit should do it. No follow-up off of the relay set, but Walshy's gone. You know,
yeah, Walshy just wasn't even going to try. He saw the last game. He wasn't even going to try coming back. Hardy already with a skull forts on game 1. Hardy's a little bit different. Okay? We're all allowed to be a little bit different. But, you know what? It's okay. I'm not gonna scold you just yet. It's not like you've taken 1 KO in like 3 games. It's okay.
What's most interesting about Hardy is that he did 236 damage on Sword. Not used to seeing that out of him. And Hardy...
I believe the first game that we saw Hardy play, Hardy did like 9 damage.
9, yeah. Yeah, he's definitely becoming more comfortable on the Sword in these sets. As you can tell, it just takes a little bit of a level up to play into some of these better teams so that you can get a nice combo, and that's what Sword can give you, even though Hardy on the Greatsword has been doing so well in some of these 1v1 situations, which seems to be the way that Stingray and Hardy want to play these games, is to separate and play separate 1v1s, because they both feel like they're better than the other players individually, and that the other team is better than the sum, or better than the sum of their parts, yeah. And Stingray and Hardy already, Jesus, everyone just did deep red, just an all-out brawl in this game so far. Stingray the only one not in red so far, but as I say that, knocked right into it.
Bleeds into it.
Yep.
Yeah, everyone's trying to get themselves a taste of that barbecue, as Anime fan definitely got sent to go get some drinks. As Walshy gets a side edit on Stingray, it's not going to be enough to get the KO on him just yet. Anime fan trying to keep Hardy away as Walshy sends the blaster recovery and just keeps Stingray all the way up into the skies with that one. That side air finally going to get rid of Walshy, but look, this game is very even at the moment. Hardy tried to get a string, but it ended up being interrupted by his own teammate, which is a little bit interesting. Ooh.
Red team starting
I'm not too sure what
get a little hurt. Hardy just getting smacked around in the red already. But the thing is with Stingray, you never know. He could just take out a complete stock. He's been doing it this game so far. So no lead is safe, despite the fact that the blue team seems to be doing okay.
Hardy gets a read.
Nice read with Greatsword recovery, but Stingray again on this bow, hunting with these dares. Walshy kind of running out of options. Recovery not gonna do him a crowd.
Oh no.
Side sig gonna do it, the weapon throw blocks it, but D-sig from Stingray. He's on top of it, he knows. No situation is too complicated.
No situation is too complicated for Vector. It's not even Stingray, it's just Vector.
Yeah, this Vector pick clearly working out. Anime and Burnt Sienna Orange looking very hurt right now on this final stock. Not where you want to be if you're Anime. And on the Wushang, a character that's not known for his high defense, could just get eaten by one of those Greatsword dares, finally able to make it back, but I mean, it just feels like he's not getting any of these hits. And Walshy able to get 1 or 2, but Anime is just getting popped around. Walshy now on the side, as red team just takes stage control and they both opt to decide, who are we going to go after? And boom, it's Walshy, sent far to the right. These edge guards, not what they want to build more damage. Greatsword recovery on the Walshy is going to do it. Not a KO onto Anime, kind of doable if he's able to get some strong hits, but he can't get hit. He has to play a completely perfect stock. A side stick, very good, not going to finish it, but an edge guard might be in order. No. Grandpa not going to hit. Spear struggling so hard. Finds a KO on the Stingray
though.
Recovers into it. This edge guard, if Hardy can find this,
that's
recovery
end up getting,
covers the whole way.
If you sneezed on Anime, he would have just been knocked out. As finally, Hardy pulls his weight, 660 damage with 3 KOs to get onto that as well. We go back on the Apocalypse. Walshy has swapped off the blasters of the Luca or the Cross. You're never gonna guess who he picked. You're never gonna guess who he picked. It's another Gauntlet legend. My goodness gracious me. it's the Val this time, you know, swapping to something probably a little bit more consistent with the sword. You know, it's in terms of gameplay and how you're supposed to play a sword, pretty balanced. Has almost everything you need, almost, I guess. Unless you're really specific about grounded anti-airs, then, you know, you're probably going to have a little bit of a problem with sword. But you don't need that for 2v2s, right? You can just hit your opponent and, you know, go in the corner or something as, oh my goodness, Hardy, 30 seconds in, and Walshy and Anime have already lost a stock age. Yeah. What is going
The damage
on?
is pretty much even, but the red team is up an entire stock. I mean, that was one of the cleanest stock, like, first stock situations in a 2v2 that I've seen in a very long time. Red team just all over it, like separate 1v1s and winning both of them. D-Light reverse and like Stingray just all over the ground with this bow, which is crazy because Hardy is playing Greatsword and he's not hitting him. As Hardy finally up off the top, but Stingray not that hurt. So as long as he doesn't get caught in just some kind of combo, he can stock tank this for quite a while. Hardy, who has to be careful on this stock, can still do a ton of damage. Blue team quite hurt, and one stock taken here without taking a lot of damage might be trouble for the blue team in the final game in the set.
Yeah, that down six sending Walshy out to the side. Hardy does get a downlight into the stair. Stingray keeping Walshy up into the sky as both of them are now on tournament stocks. Hardy is the only person to have lost a singular stock on this red team at the moment. So a 5-2 lead in stock count for red team, and I have no idea how blue team is going to be able to pull this back. I don't see a way of them being able to get it back now. It's looking, look, not to cast this curse or anything, but it's definitely looking like I'm smelling a 3-0. And that 3-0 is in the form of a burnt Walshy and Anime fan.
Yeah, Walshy Anime, not in a great spot. This Val pick does not look like to be the move. Do not let him back in the kitchen. Please get him out. It is not looking good for Walshy.
Get him out. Who let Walshy cook, man?
Yeah,
Who let him cook?
Val is not it. Stingray just running away with this game. Each hit, he's done.
Oh no, there goes Walshy. There goes Anime fan and Stingray and Hardy. They're going to put themselves into the elimination semi-finals. 3-0ing Walshy and Anime. That's crazy. I'm sorry, but that's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, what like, what a set. Wait, because every one of these is with a game 4-5, but that one, 3 games, really, and very fast games at that. Walshy and Anime just, I mean, were they playing? I don't really know. Hardy and Stinger just kind of mopped them. And as we look immediately, I think I gotta warn you that there's gonna be a Moose Wars avatar code that's about to pop up. I think.
Oh no, I'm gonna have to get out of this lobby to try and redeem that myself. But look, yeah, a Moose Wars avatar code will be popping up very soon before we go on break. So it was some interesting sets. We do have finally our top 4. We have Luna and Experience up against Dawg and Judy in the winners final, and Hardy and Stingray and Java Fake in the elimination semi-final. So it's a very stacked top 4. I'm gonna be honest, a very stacked top 4, and I cannot wait to see how that's gonna go. But we will be going on a short break, and we will be back with you with the top 4. My name's Jerry, and beside me is Serge, and It's been fun casting.
Great games, everyone, as we move to our break.
Alrighty, everyone, welcome on into Moose Wars Frozen Fury. I'm AG 2000. Today, I'm going to be casting top 4 with Hackle. Hackle, how are you feeling, my man?
I am absolutely fantastic. It may be the Moose Wars Frozen Fury, but I think the ice is starting to thaw because things are certainly starting to heat up here in top 4. With our remaining 4 teams in the tournament, we have Luna and Experience waiting in winners final against Dawg and QT, and then in losers semi-final on the lower side of the bracket we have Java and Fakey going up against Hardy, MJ, and Stingray coming up after this next set.
Yeah, we've had so many fantastic events so far going into this tournament. I mean, we've had so many interesting upsets when it comes down to brackets. We've had some really hardcore gameplay, especially from teams like Hardy and Stingray that have been just popping off, going crazy on, especially when they're coming in and beating Cody Travis and Made, and then Walshy, an anime fan. So they've been doing very powerful. We saw some good gameplay from Java Fakey, and then we also have seen some amazing gameplay from Luna Experience, and then Dawg and Cutie, which are actually going to be our first matchup for this block here. And with that being said, man, I mean, this is going to be the notorious Seed 1 versus Seed 2 matchup.
Absolutely, yeah. And as mentioned prior, there's some team shake-ups coming into this tournament. We don't know if in some cases it's definitely just a one-off thing for this tournament. In some cases we're not entirely sure. Obviously with Luna and Experience, that's a one-off case where Luna's teammate Snowy couldn't play for today, so Luna picked up the next best thing for the Onyx fill-in, which is going to be Experience, another gold medalist in the 2v2 game mode and very, very competitive player. And then on the side of QT and Dawg, we have QT, who's coming off of teaming with Walshy, who's found great success both in communities and official tournaments, finding multiple top 3s in both cases, and Dawg coming off of teaming with Anime Fan, who had similar levels of success, not quite to the same degree as QT and Walshy, but still, Dawg and Anime have split apart by the seams of things, same as QT and Walshy, and both members of each team have gone to other players from the other teams. So we have QT and Dawg now, and Anime and Walshy, which is a very interesting mix-up. I'm surprised they just swapped out like trading cards. But going into this first game, we do have QT and Dawg. QT on the staple Rayman, and Dawg sticking to the Wu Chang we've seen him playing for all today. Meanwhile, Experience and Luna are going to be playing the Chronics. They've been playing all of today and finding incredible success with. And right off the bat, Experience taking a beating from that axe on the side of QT.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, it's going to be relatively even going into this matchup just because a lot of players are going to try to basically figure out how to approach a certain opponent that they have, while also not making their teammate an opponent along with that. So right now, both blue team and red team relatively even so far until one person gets a knockout. Our team combo, like that Experience and Luna doing some very, very good team combos back and forth. Experience with that Onyx ground pound knockout. And the Dawg is going to go ahead and go down to that first stock. But relatively so far so good for both teams. And Q's just trying to make amends here. But you see another knockout by Experience. The team combos coming in. It's going to be definitely getting very dangerous for the blue team so far.
That's a nice follow-up recovery coming out of Dawg, finding that knockout onto Luna, and Experience could be soon to follow off the right side of the stage here. Luna trying to relieve the pressure, but just taking a beating as a result, as the blue team swaps their focus and racks up this damage onto Luna. The side sig will secure the knockout onto Experience. Where is Dawg going with that down air? But regardless, the damage has been done, and Luna now the most damaged player on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I mean, we're definitely seeing Luna going down into that low red so far. And I think the blue team's definitely going to try to maximize on that. But they actually say, you know what? Let's go ahead and launch Luna off that ledge and do a team combo and Experience while Luna is so low and going off that ledge. And it basically gives us that room and opportunity. So red team right now on the left side trying to really approach blue team, but blue team is just starting to tear the red team apart while both Luna and Experience are separated. Oh! That was a fantastic knockout there by the red team on the Dawg, and Cutie is now in a very low red, but red team turned things around very, very easily, and Cutie's now down to that final stock as well.
That grounded recovery will do it for Luna's second stock as well. Well done to Luna for tanking that stock, considering the fact that he went into the red of that second stock so early and yet lost it after both blue team members. Now Experience once again tanking the stocks the most of any player. That high Onyx defense keeping him alive for the time being, but once again we're seeing Luna taking the brunt of the damage here for the red team. The blue team are definitely doing a good job of picking their targets and building up the damage quickly. And right now, Dawg, the healthiest player on their final stock, but experience still on their second. The D-Sig comes through, not going to be enough. The weapon though to cancel the exhausted recovery. I don't know if that was intentional. If it was, that was the highest IQ play I've seen.
Absolutely, and right now we got experience going down that final stock. Blue team missing that team combo on the Luna. Luna spacing out very, very well, and that might just allow for the blue team to kind of get a little bit more of an opportunity. Now we got Luna going down on the final stock. Blue team now having a 2v1 opportunity. The experience realizing the situations, like, you know what, I'm gonna try to go for the signatures knockouts and try to not run into some team combos here.
Dropping that true combo, the D-Light there is going to give experience some room to breathe, but not too much for D-Light ground pound.
No!
Oh, with the side-out recovery, this could be dangerous for Dawg here. Spear into Gauntlets is a winning matchup for Spear, but experience is very experienced, and the side-out will secure it. Experience clutching it out in the last possible moment.
Absolutely.
Very, very well played.
And even if you look at the replay, I mean, we saw some fantastic knockouts coming out of the red team and really making things a lot more even, because blue team was getting the upper hand on them for a little bit. And then as soon as we go into a 2v1 situation, experience comes in with that silent recovery, realizes that Dawg is using their attacks too quickly, realizes that they're going to try to approach with recovery, and experience gets a fantastic side air. Overall though, I mean, between these teams, the damage taken by, I think the red team was 1200, the damage taken by blue team is that 1200 roughly as well. And I mean, even though the blue team got more damage on the red team was still able to prevail with that. And also another thing as well is Dawg did 112 damage with unarmed. So that's definitely interesting to see. We're going to go into game number 2 and kind of see what happens. But right now, Luna Experience are up by 1 as we go into game number 2 here. And it's going to be very good here. It'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely going into the Small Fortress of Lions map for this next game. And one thing I have to give credit to the Blues, if they give me a second to speak, but I mean, I was going to try and take a moment, but they're just going right into these team combos. Luna pushed out to the side. The blue team doing a good job of separating up the red team. I think they've realized how good these handoffs have been, especially for the red team. QT ripping up with that action now, charging up that ground pound all the way. Doesn't manage to find the connection, however. The damage building in favor of the red team at the start of this game once again.
Yeah, for sure. And I think right now, this is definitely something that we saw from the last game. What just happened? Wait, what the what in the... I cannot
think of a more perfect sig to counter that exact position. That was like that was like BMG B-roll footage for a new legend. QT already being pushed into the red on his second stock. And Luna and Experience still both on their foot. The ground pad won't kill either player, and they both make it back to the wall.
Yep.
How are they still living?
I don't know, but I don't know. 1 dare, 2 dare, 3 dare, 4. With Dawg get the final knockout, Luna right off the ledge, and they do. But Experience might save them. Luna doesn't need to be saved. Blue team having a lot more of this platform control and just trying to take the advantage that they currently have with, I mean, just overall vibe control of the matchup so far. They're a lot more comfortable. You know, Experience and Luna are a little bit more jumping up and around a little bit. And Luna does go down to that second stock, but blue team's just trying to take the advantage as much as they possibly can, because look at the difference right there, Hackle.
That is a nice follow-up, though. If the blue team could find some sort of early knockout, they could start to turn it around, but Luna is having none of it. The Gauntless ground pound going to come in, knock out QT. The side taking the cannon by Experience. Going to do the same for Dawg, and this could be dangerous for QT as well. Not going to find a big extension on the team combo, and Dawg's going to come in to equalize up at least Experience's stock, but Luna is so healthy on this second stock, has so much room to work with here.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, I mean, he does. And with Luna having such a big lead over the blue team, you're definitely going to see the blue team being a lot more cautious. And they're going for these team-based combos to build this damage up. Luna trying to get a knockout there on a QT. Dawg coming in, trying to save the day. QT with that axe is trying to do something against Luna, while Experience is throwing Dawg, and Dawg throwing Experience around in the air.
For certain, and Dawg is definitely taking a front seat here in the blue team because he's recognized the fact that QT is one really strong hit away from being knocked out. Speaking of which, Luna is going to fall down out of the second stock and experience left alone for a second, but does manage to play that 2v1 well, avoiding taking too much punishment from the blue team. And that N-Sig is going to be more than enough to get rid of QT. Experience getting a bit overzealous with that recovery there, but I think the red team are confident in the fact that they effectively have this game done as the side air comes through. Absolutely decimating. Putting the red team 2-0 up in winners finals, poised to go straight into grands.
Dude, and the red team kind of learned based off what the blue team was really pushing on in round number 1, right? Round number 1, we saw Experience dealing with this 2v1, and then now we had a 2v1 situation for Dawg against Luna Experience, and they said, no, we're putting the fucking pressure in right now. You are not going to be able to approach, and just took every option out of the book from Dawg. And very nice job coming out both teams. And right now, I mean, the red team did a lot more damage that game. They really showed what they were trying to do. We see a lot of cannon gameplay from Experience, 422, while only doing 29 gauntlet damage. Every other player, for the most part, though, sticking relatively even with their different weapons and stuff like that. And Dawg this time has 16 unarmed damage there, Hackle. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if the unarmed gameplay comes back in as we go into game number 3. And boy, are these players going crazy. I love the playstyles.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a clearly defined playstyle for each player here. And I mean, I'm surprised we're not seeing any pocket picks, kind of to an extent, but also these are the legends that all these players are sort of best known for. Besides, I think Dawg is a very adaptive twos player. We've seen Dawg play whatever sort of fits both the teammate he's playing with and the meta at the time. And I think that's a very strong thing to have in a partner, is that ability to adapt and mold your team with whoever you're playing with. And it makes you a very strong pickup. And QT, I think, has been feeling that with Dawg. They have very, very good synergy as far as we can tell, but synergy can only get you so far right now as Dawg is taking a lot of damage here. However, some nice axe play and some good follow-ups is going to bring the damage into the favor of the blue team just for a moment. At least that slide charge N-Sig, a little bit goofy from Experience, but QT making use of the platform, trying to get that edge guard. Yeah, now he's going to come through. Luna picking up the follow-up onto just Dawg, not Experience. Experience lives through it. Do not ground pound. So do not recovery off the ground. QT cleaning it up with the swiftness and looking relatively healthy on this first stock.
Absolutely. And I mean, here's the thing though, blue teams kind of realized what's going on. While they had the advantage of the momentum, they just were able to go and knock out both Luna and Experience with those first stocks. And you can see red team's like, okay, we're both on clean stocks. We're trying to make amends. We're trying to knock out Cutie of that first stock while also trying to keep Dawg down to their level. And right now, Experience gets a fantastic gauntlet recovery that does not knock out Apocalypse. Cutie coming in with that signature knockout on Luna. And blue team is up 2 stocks. Experience having to deal with a 2v1 until Luna's back. It looks like Luna knocked out Cutie off of that.
I think that was an unarmed Sare or something. I didn't quite see a replay on that one, but
oh my
Dawg is going to go down. The stock numbers are equal. The damage isn't. Luna dropping the dare to find the team combo there. And meanwhile, the blue team securing theirs. Experience in trouble on the second stock. Luna still very healthy on his final. The blue team, instead of in the previous games opting to focus down one player, they're trying to keep it equal here and keep their damage across the board. But that may lead to danger down the line. That being said, they're really struggling to find these knockouts here onto Experience, and Luna's going to capitalize with some dauntless damage onto QZ.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, the red team would have had a lead if they were able to land a team combo and then Luna didn't have enough room, right? I mean, they were trying to go in with this nice team combo on one of the blue team opponents. And now we're seeing Luna saying, you know what? Maybe we can go back down to that. Knocks out Cutie of that second stock, 1 stock off between both teams. I mean, still, it's a half stock difference between the blue team and the red team. You're seeing the red team really trying to land some type of team combo on the blue team. But then you're seeing blue team kind of separating the red team. I mean, which we don't see a whole lot of, right? When it comes down to this high-level gameplay, when it comes down to teams being able to split the opposing team to 2 different sides of the map. So, oh, and Luna knocking out Cutie on that final stock. Dawg now having to deal with a 2v1 situation, but we saw how round 2 went. Will they be able to win a 3-0 over Dawg and Cutie? Or will Dawg say, you know what? I learned from my last game. Right? We'll see what happens. Dawg comes in with the gauntlet neutral air, knocks out Experience, and now it's a 1v1 between Dawg and Luna. Who's gonna win there, Ackle? Let's see.
Ian Light isn't quite enough. The nerf to the force and angle of that move is going to be high. And Dawg, the dodge perfectly out of the D-Sig, but Luna catches the dodge with a ground pound and takes the 3-0 victory.
Yeah, and that was very, very close for Dawg to be able to reverse that 2v1 situation. It came down to a sidelight jump ground pound coming in from Luna. Now, I don't know if, look at the dare and the ground pound by Luna on the cutie, and then the sidelight ground pound. Look how clean that was coming in from Luna. And they won 3-0, man. And blue team had the damage lead too.
You know what it was down to? It was purely down to that Blaster's ground pound that Luna got onto QT right on the edge, clashing out, even though it connected in orange. Did not matter. QZ was the healthiest player on the board and got knocked out first because of that well-placed ground pound. That is what separates the highest echelon players, is placing those completely game-changing moves when it really, really counts. And you could absolutely see it in those last few games there. It really, really shone through.
Yeah, and props there to both Luna and Experience with their adaptability going into that game, because they were able to adapt to how their opponents were really throwing their attacks out. And I mean, even with the teams being split up, both Luna and Experience are phenomenal 1v1 players, and they really showed it going into those games and those rounds. So props to them. And with that being said, I mean, it's definitely an interesting matchup between both these teams. And our next matchup a little bit later here looks like it's going to be Java and Fakey versus Hardy MJ and Stingray.
That's an interesting one. That is a very interesting one, because that is a case of two players that have sort of made their names through community tournaments and being absolute demons, especially here in Moose Wars, versus a team that is seen as sort of a very oddball team. I mean, Hardy and Stingray today have been playing Lance and Greatsword, which are two weapons. I mean, you see a fair bit of Lance, primarily in other regions, not so much in North America, but you see it used in twos a fair bit. To the extent that Stingray is using it, he's playing it like it's a completely different weapon. Meanwhile, we have Java and Fakey. Java playing Bodvar, probably the longest standing legend that has been just sort of, if in doubt, fall back on Bodvar. And so in twos, that statement is ever true. Like, the hammer, the sword work incredibly well, but Fakey is a Mordex player, both in ones and twos, and having that scythe and having those gauntlets makes the way that Java and Fakey play very unique as a team, because of the differences in movesets, especially with that scythe and the way active input works with the weapon. It opens up some avenues and closes out some other ones you might have with, say, gauntlets or sword. So this matchup, I think, is going to be an odd one, I would say, is the best way I could describe it, because it's the oddball team of Greatsword and probably Lord Vrax or Vector versus a newly formed team of community tournament demons with a very, very unique playstyle.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, we've seen Hardy MJ and Stingray team in the past, but actually split up for a little bit, which actually reminds me a lot of Anime Fan and Dawg. They'll tend to go with different teammates every once in a while here and there, and then come back and just prove what they are. And right now, I mean, we have Hardy MJ and Stingray coming back together, going absolutely crazy through some of the best 2v2 players in the world, going through Made, Cody Travis, Walshy, Anime Fan, amongst a bunch of other teams, and really showing what they're made of, and especially Stingray showing that Vector and showing what it's made out of, and Hardy being able to basically be like, okay, I will be able to support these flawless attacks that Stingray's throwing out with this Lance. And it's definitely been very, very interesting going in from Hardy MJ and Stingray. But Java and Fakey, like you brought up, they're a newly formed team. They went absolutely crazy when it comes down to the Spring Championship as well. And I don't know what to really expect going into this next game, but it'll definitely be very fantastic as well. Now, with that being said here, ladies and gentlemen, looks like we had a code showed on stream for you guys for the Moose Wars avatar. If you guys do watch the stream and you look in the bottom right corner, we'll have codes pop up for you guys throughout the rest of the stream. We gave away 2 so far. We're going to be giving away 3 more after every single set, so make sure you keep an eye on it. It might actually sneak one of those codes in the middle of the gameplay. So keep your eye out. Be very visual of what's going on here. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and looks like the players are ready to go. Java, Fakey, Stingray, and Hardy MJ are going to go into game number 1.
Yes, sir. And right now we are seeing that team comp that we were mentioning a minute ago, with Stingray locking in that Vector, a legend with an incredibly low play rate, especially at professional level. The only player really in the world that has played Vector at an international or national level and found major success really is Asmodee in Australia. And so for Stingray to come in here with this legend and rip it up like he has, it is incredibly impressive. And Hardy, as we mentioned before, the Greatsword, not a weapon you see too much of in twos, and right now, you might be seeing why, as Java, a huge side sig, just sending both red team members out to the side. Stingray's going to fool Java, looking for the recovery onto Hardy. Doesn't manage to find it quite yet. Hardy staying alive for the time being. A little bit of a team combo coming in for the red team. The N-Sig will certainly shut it down. Incredible force on that signature, and Hardy took it to the face.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think right now, I mean, Fakey and Java are definitely showing their gameplay here. Red team's trying to make amends, but Java's hammer is going absolutely crazy. Going into this game number 1, Java, look at what he just fucking did to Hardy. Hardy's down to the final stock.
Man,
and that was a fantastic clip there by them. And now with Stingray going down that final stock, blue team is just tearing apart the red team right now, Hackle. Holy.
That's Java, baby. That's the Java we know and love. And right now, Fakey trying to do the same with the side onto Hardy. The side sig not going to come through. Fakey could be in trouble. Stingray finds the ground pound. Java isn't there to save. Could be in trouble as well. The red team, but he finds it there.
What the f just happened, Ackle? That was insane from all of the players here. Hardy is now dealing with a 2v1 situation off that exchange off the ledge, and blue team takes game number 1. And holy, that was a f***ing fantastic round. Oh my god.
There was a moment.
He's stunned right now. He doesn't know what to say.
There was a moment there where I had to pick which name to say at a time because everyone on the screen did something incredible. It was Fakey taking Hardy out to the side, then Stingray comes in, saves Hardy, takes out Fakey. Java goes down, takes out Stingray, falls down in the process, and then Fakey lands the ground pound onto Hardy. This is the essence of 2's chaos right here. I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, for sure. And with that being said, we're going into round number 2 on this non-pre-recorded stream. And with that being said, we're going into the second round, and you definitely know red team's feeling that pressure from round number 1.
For certain, but if there's one thing for sure with this team, they know how to mix it up against their opponents. They know how to just run away with it if you really aren't prepared for what they're bringing to the table. And right now, it seems like they're putting that pressure on as both Java and Fakey are at risk of being knocked out. Although they are going to find a good bit of damage. The N-Sig onto Stingray isn't quite enough, but it's close. Java, D-Light said, disarms Hardy, but he is still living. The recovery is going to secure it, and Fakey actually just getting the mind gimp there onto Stingray, and the blue team taking once again a bit of a smaller lead, but still a lead in this game too.
Yeah, and I mean, Fakey and Java are definitely saying, you know what, we're going to go ahead and show worth here. And at the moment, Java goes down, Fakey goes down to that second stock as well, and things are even. I mean, Java's just been going crazy with that hammer going into all of these matches here. And I don't know, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
I can't tell you how happy I am to see Java back on the hammer, bro. It's been too long. Java bullet bar is just so different, and right now we are kind of seeing that as the blue team still holding onto this lead. The N-Sig isn't gonna go through. The pressure was there, and now Fakey kind of getting cooked up by this Greatsword a little bit. Java finds the down air, finds the side air as well, doesn't quite find the double knockout just yet, goes for the recovery. Stingray just managing to touch. Java is playing a dangerous game off stage here with his hammer. Just to make it back safely though. And Fakey going crazy against Hardy with the scythe, doesn't manage to secure the knockout and gets taken out by the ground pound as well. And all of a sudden, it's a little bit better looking for the red team.
Yeah, for sure. And I think definitely the red team is like, you know what, we're trying our best here. We're trying to take game number 2. And Java gets knocked out of that second stock, and they don't want a repeat of what happened in game number 1. So at the moment, we see Java coming in with that hammer, saying, you know what, we're trying to make it like game number 1. And you see, realistically, red team being a lot more cautious going into it, especially Hardy MJ, which with how their great sword plays, they have to be. And that allows for the blue team to punish, knock out Hardy MJ's final stock, launch Stingray off the ledge of their second, and Stingray going down to their final stock off the blue team.
This movement coming out of Java on that platform is incredibly swift. The drop on that NSIG! What? Oh, not the team combo. Okay. Stingray lives. What are these drops?
That's what you call a signature that's hard to read. Oh, Stingray coming in the neutral air onto Fakey. Now having a 1v1 against Java. Look at that f***ing Lance go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to see some random happen here. Stingray with the side air. Java trying to come back. Trying to use that hammer. Has the range to counter Stingray, but Stingray's speed and momentum is just catching onto him right now.
Stingray has the stage control. The weapon throw falls through, and Stingray takes it back in, oh my god, in record speed. And that's what I meant when I said Stingray is playing Lance like no other weapon. The swiftness with which he just decimated a pair of stocks. He shouldn't have won that game. By numbers, he should not have won that game.
Yeah, but look at the signature Stingray threw out, tried throwing out twice and just missed entirely. I mean, now we're going into the bottom of this with Fakey getting knocked out, and then now having that 1v1 against Java. And Java started to come back, but got too comfortable through the weapon and said, you know what? We're going to game number 3.
3, 2, 1.
It's just reminding me of a tweet that Sandstorm made after BCX, where he said that Stingray just clutches those. And honestly, I see the vision. I absolutely see the vision, because his win rate in clutching those 2v1s is absurd at this point. Oh, but we have a team combo coming in here by the blue team. Not going to extend too far, though. Afraid of overusing the same move too much. For DI, Java actually catching Fakey with that D-Sig. I think we're going to get a bit overzealous with that side Sig there. Damage equal across the board. Fakey scythe in hand. Stingray trying to cook up with a Lance right here. Team combo coming in. Not going to secure the knockout. At least not quite yet.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, blue team is just really focusing on knocking out Hardy at different points, too. They knock out Stingray, realizing that Hardy is now dealing with a 2v1 situation. Hardy's kind of forced to go onto that sword, just based off of how the blue team's really approaching. And, I mean, the greatsword just is, with how the weapon is built, it's meant to be more so of a platform-based weapon, and the blue team is just taking the platform control from them. We do see Java get knocked out there by Stingray. We see Fakey now dealing with a 1v2. Hardy with a fantastic knockout there on the Fakey, making things even. But, I mean, you're definitely going to see what happens when Hardy has that platform control. And then Stingray is like, you know what? We're going to try something. And it's a back and forth. Look where Stingray's at right now on that stock.
Yeah, Stingray is very heavily damaged. He is the player to keep your eyes on right now as he returns back to the stage. Hardy, nowhere near as damaged. But the damage is pretty equal across the board, but as I say that, Stingray will fall down onto his final stock. Java, the healthiest player on the field right now, doesn't find the side air follow-up onto Hardy. That changed angle on the end light of Gauntlets following most recent patch is a bit of a detriment, but team combo coming in! The side sig not going to quite connect, but that was an incredibly well-adapted team combo for that situation. And a whole lot of damage built up, and Stingray is already at risk of losing his final stock, and he only just entered this stock.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting. Blue team, I mean, getting double knocked out by the red team. And all it's going to come down to Stingray really holding his stock. Because if blue team maximizes on that with where their stock is, I mean, Hardy would have to deal with a 2v1 against a team that is very aggressive, which has been countering his greatsword a decent bit.
I mean, you may say that, but right now Hardy has got a lot of unanswered damage onto Java off the right side of the stage as Java struggled to make it back, and Hardy is really taking the front seat right here. Java looking for the knockout onto Stingray, but Hardy is there to cover the side air by Fakey. Not quite enough. Java actually looks to be afraid of approaching here against Hardy. The side air will secure the knockout on to Stingray. Team combo coming in. The NSIG won't connect, but Hardy is disarmed. It's a very doable 2v1 though.
Yeah, and he can definitely do it. We've seen it in the past, but it comes down to realistically how well they can counter the blue team, and blue team just removed every single option that Hardy MJ had. And Hardy used all their options, and Fakey was like, you know what, Side Scoper, and just knocks him out.
For sure, and going into the map banning for this next game, I'm interested to see if we see any adaptations, perhaps the Vrax coming out of Stingray. No, the exact same legends coming in for this next game. And I'm just impressed by how well the blue team managed to adapt their combos to certain situations where usually you just go for a one and done sig follow up and just move on. You've got the damage, you've got the value, you've got the positioning, and get out of there. But the blue team have been finding these options that I just would not expect out of anyone at this point. And Fakey right now ripping up with his scythe and just he doesn't slow down.
No, his play style is definitely very aggressive, and you kind of have to be, especially against how Stingray's playing with their lance. But at the moment, Red Team just punished the living shit out of for that. Fakey going down to that red stock, and Stingray's unable to come back. Java might get knocked out here. Fakey trying to save the day. Well, Hardy is just not able to get any punishment knockouts on the blue team.
That was such an unfortunate turn of events for Stingray there, falling down, SDing off the bottom of the stage as Java manages to make it back to the wall. That greatsword string still not going to be enough. Java living, caught by the D-Sig and still living off the side, and the blue team really focusing down Stingray now. Fakey will fall and the dare into the nair to secure the knockout as well. True combo coming out of Hardy, one of the rare true combos that greatsword does have. The red team ahead by numbers, but not necessarily in terms of actual raw damage. Although Hardy absolutely cooking up onto Fakey right now with the greatsword.
He's starting to cook up a little bit. He definitely needs to if he wants to go ahead and take game number 4 to their name. But another thing as well, I mean, where Stingray is currently at on their stock, you have to be very, very careful the next 30 seconds to a minute, and Stingray gets knocked out. Is down to that final stock. You do not want to have Hardy MJ in a 2v1 situation again as much as you possibly can. And right now, you're seeing Red Team just trying to knock out Fakey, build some damage up on the Java in the process. And it's just going to be very difficult. I mean, Blue Team is starting to get knocked around, though. We have Fakey going down to that final stock. Stingray trying to knock out Java. And it's just going a lot of back and forth at the moment.
Absolutely. Java up the top at risk of being knocked out. Manages to dodge through the string, gets caught by the D-Sig, and now all of a sudden, the red team is taking an actually noticeable lead here. The double nair coming out of Hardy, going for a third, does catch his teammate, but Fakey could be in trouble here. Hardy has this room to work with, has this full stock lead. Fakey at risk of being knocked out on his final stock. So Hardy going out here aggressive like this isn't that much of a risk and will actually pay off as he finds a knockout onto Fakey, and Java just going to fall out of there and securing the game number 5 as we get a 2-2 scoreline, and Hardy putting out 600 damage and 5 knockouts.
Jesus, he was so very good with his movement in that last game that we just had. Hardy MJ, I mean, that greatsword, and I remember what I was saying, it's like you need a lot of platform control to land those attacks. Apparently not. Look how well he played with that greatsword. And he's doing also a lot better on that sword going into Java and Fakey as well. And I don't know. I mean, realistically, Stingray, I mean, I really got to give props overall to Stingray too on holding that stock to allow it to be a 2v1 situation. And did very well, kept that stock for a long period of time. And we go into game number 5. We'll have to see which one of these teams reigns superior to go into the losers final.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final battle for a spot in top 3. The other 2 top 3 teams have been made, and this game will determine who our final one will be and who will be going out in 4th place. Obviously, nothing to scoff at, but everyone wants that podium finish.
Everyone, and that means everyone, just because of the fact of how much money is in between the top 3 placements. If you get 3rd, you're guaranteed a decent amount of money, so a lot of people are just trying to get up there. For it being a $1,000 2v2 event, that's nothing to scoff about. And imagine this as like a matchup that is worth a decent amount of money, this game here. So right now, Java going down to that 2nd stock. Red team taking that neutral control of the platform. Nice side air. Now the red team is trying to get these team combos. Hardy might get to get there. Stingray the punish. Misses the signature. Java still able to touch, but Hardy gets locked up this by Stingray. What is going on, Echo?
Java may have lived through that, but in the process took a large chunk of damage. About to enter the orange of just trying to get back to the stage. And really struggling to find these setups for the knockout. D-Lights there won't quite be enough. However, both red team members will now fall. The blue team not too far behind. Just a little bit of extra damage done to Java. Stingray already bow in hand. Fakey trying to rip it up right now with this scythe and doing just that. Finding so many unanswered hits, but red team starting to answer back now.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, they definitely are. Look at the team combo involving that bow there, silent in the knockout by Hardy MJ on the Fakey. I mean, you don't even need platforms to land those team-based combos. They just went in the air and said, you know what? We don't need platform control. We don't. And they're definitely proving it right now. And I mean, the momentum from the blue team, they're taking that neutral control a little bit. But right now, I don't think the red team needs it. But uh-oh. Stingray knocks out Java, and Fakey says, we're making this a even game here. And all players are on one stock. Whoever gets knocked out here is out of the tournament.
For sure, this is the point where it's everything to play for. Last stock situation, game 5, elimination bracket. This could not be higher stakes besides literally being in grand finals. So Fakey taking that much damage is already a risk for the blue team. You're going to see the pace definitely start to slow down here as the players start to realize the magnitude of how much every single move matters, and Fakey really needs to start avoiding these low pokes coming out of Stingray. Hardy taking a bit of damage, and Fakey at risk of being knocked out right there and then. The Airknight's going to catch both, and Java needs to relieve the pressure off Fakey right here as Hardy goes off the edge guard. Fakey knocked to the other side of the stage. Stingray finds the down air. Java left alone. The string comes in, and Hardy will secure the game for the red team and take the game 5, securing their place in top 3. And Java and Fakey here going out in 4th place. Despite the early leads they had in those matches, the red team coming out on top.
And it was down to all stocks of red on their final. I mean, that was a very good job of the red team prioritizing that platform control and really getting those knockouts when they needed to, and realistically separate the blue team when they needed to. So props to the red team on doing very well and advancing further, but also props to Java and Fakey on making it this stinking close in game number 5. It could have been anyone's game.
For sure, man. Yeah, I just want to take a look at the fact that despite how close that game was, the blue team did 200 less damage total than the red team. For context, that's the average amount of damage you're going to do to take a stock. On average, it's around 150 to 200. That's a whole stock's worth of damage difference, and yet it was still a last stock red situation, which is a testament to how much momentum-based individual plays can matter over just building damage in neutral. At this level of play, it is such an important aspect to be able to place the right moves rather than just finding your neutral wins, especially in 2v2s.
Well, another thing as well is if you look on the graph that we just had there, we had Stingray with 544 damage on bow. So they didn't use almost lift in at all that entire last round, and just really kind of mix things up to the point where I think the blue team was like, okay, we got to kind of reprioritize what we're doing, and they went down to that close. But man, that was a fantastic game there, Hackle. And with that being said, we now have Hardy, MJ, and Stingray going against Dawg and Cutie. And I think now is the time that we should probably go ahead and possibly show you guys a little bit of something in the top right corner here. Yeah, our next matchup, we got Dawg and Cutie versus Hardy, MJ, and Stingray. And I mean, if you're looking at their placements, I mean, we're seeing realistically Dawg and Cutie each having a silver medal, bronze medals. Hardy, MJ, and Stingray have the upper hand on, but it's definitely a very interesting comparison between both of these players. Moose Wars avatars in the bottom right corner. Let me know in Twitch chat who gets that. And with that being said, the players are going to go ahead and start as we get into our next game.
Yes, sir. And going into this game, this is going to be a very interesting one because it's sort of a clash between a super conventional 2v2 team, right? We have a Rayman and a Wushang. Not very adventurous, but it works. We know it works. It's in the meta. It's a team that you see. Doesn't matter what region, doesn't really matter what elo, you will see these legends use it because they just work so well. In comparison, a Vector and a Jaeyun are two legends that not only individually you wouldn't see that much in either game mode, Jaeyun a bit more possibly, but especially teaming together in twos. I've said it before, this is an oddball team in both their legends and in the way that they play the game mode. And I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that sometimes the weird player is the hardest to beat because you cannot predict what they're going to go for. And not to say that there's not to detriment the skill of the red team. I mean, they would not make it this far if they weren't incredibly talented players. But it is going to be a clash of convention versus non-convention. And we're going to see which one wins.
And it comes down to the adaptability of each team too. I mean, now we're seeing Cutie and Hardy get knocked out those first stocks. Then we're seeing Dawg trying to knock out Stingray the ground pound and here and there. But it comes down to the adaptability of each team on being able to adapt on what their opponent's really throwing out and trying to throw something else. They make it a lot more weirder for the opponents to have a hard time with the counter. Right now, I mean, blue team, Cutie is just controlling the platform, trying to save Dawg, saying, you know what, I'm going to try to allow us for the red team to go ahead and get that knockout. But right now, we're a minute in. Red team's really showing their force that they want to go into the grand finals of this tournament.
That is certainly true, but while we do say that, it is a very tight game. And in terms of numbers, we are equal. However, Cutie could be in trouble here as the Daylight Ground Pound comes through. Is not going to be able to make it back as Stingray finds the ground pound, but in that time as well, Dawg was able to convert and find the trade onto Hardy. So despite the fact that blue team lost Cutie, the red team lost Hardy at the exact same time. And if that isn't a harbinger of things to come with this set, I am very excited about the pace of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now it's just going back and forth. We're seeing the blue team now having the advantage. And I don't know. I love seeing these players go back and forth.
Oh,
and
no.
Look at that. Dawg going down to that final stock. Red team trying to get the damage build up on the Cutie. Oh! That was a fantastic little combo there from Stingray. And now Cutie's in the orange. Oh, my God. Cutie's out of here. Fantastic team combo coming in by the red team. And a fantastic signature knockout by Stingray in that combo. Oh, my goodness. This is a 2v1, but this is just insane.
Stingray is absolutely farming Twitter clips right now, mid-tournament, and Hardy trying to do the same right there, cooking up with the great sword, the side air. Dawg playing it out to the very end. Big respect, and Hardy, the standard classic salt shaker coming out off the win. And Cutie struggling a lot that game, doing the least damage and taking no knockouts that game, just struggling a lot to hold on to that stock, especially against the bow of Stingray off stage. And there is that handoff. That is just the reaction time required to just know to throw that out and position. That is so incredible.
Yeah, and to think that Stingray is not signed by an organization and beating the crap out of these players is mind-boggling to me. With that being said, we're going into game number 2.
Someone pick this man up. Someone pick this man up.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I mean, RDMJ is trying to represent SIB the best that they can here going into this game number 2. 15 seconds in, and things are relatively even, but red team, you're seeing a little bit of weight going in towards the red team in this round so far. Just a little bit.
Oh, the D-Sig coming out of Stingray. Not going to be quite enough to take out Cutie, but the damage is big. Stingray now the healthiest player in the game. Dealer recovery is going to take out Dawg, and it's worth it for Hardy to commit to that. That is... Wow. Hardy has some stones for going for that weapon throw up. He was really trying to just absolutely demoralize the blue team. Didn't quite work out. Does fall for it, but still the red team holding onto the lead here.
Yeah. And I think realistically, I mean, red team, you kind of saw it going into this round. I mean, they had so much weight or so much damage on the opposing team just out of the bat. And you don't usually see a whole lot of that. Usually it's relatively even. But Dawg is able to come back here, trying to stay alive. Stingray's holding that signature, and he's taking advantage of the signatures with Vector. And, oh, it might be close. Oh, Stingray launching Hardy in the air, but that saved him. But Stingray is out of that first stock. I think that's his first stock since enemy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if you squinted real hard, it could have looked like a completely equal, like 2-stock apiece game.
Oh my
Bro, that
God.
was Stingray's first stock. Ooh! Okay,
Wow.
Hook up.
Uh-oh.
The D-light,
Okay.
unarmed D-light into the pickup side air. Stingray left alone for a second. Only takes a couple hits of punishment, however. The stocks are equal, but damage really is not. Dawg could fall any moment now to a well-placed knockout move, but QT is there. The Guardian Angel to protect. The side sig comes through. Goes for the ground pound. Very, very hopeful with that. Doesn't manage to find the connection, but damage all of a sudden has very much equalized up. Can QT find the knockout onto Stingray with this axe? Will Hardy do it for him as he finds a bit of damage onto him right there?
Ooh, just right now, man. I mean, I'm just stunned by this gameplay, and Stingray is just going crazy at this moment, involving those vector signatures, and the blue team is just having a difficult time going against them. Now the blue team has their opportunity of winning this round. Stingray's now out of that second stock, and now they maximized and knocked out Hardy, but will Stingray be able to win this 2v1 against Cutie and Dawg?
It's definitely doable, especially with a weapon like Bow that is so quick and so hard to punish if played correctly. But this is a double Gauntlets team comp with a definite amount of team combos prepared and a lot of experience in the game mode. Stingray has to be careful here. Dawg just fishing for these nairs to set up into a team combo. Only finding one, and again, still just looking for the nairs over and over. And Stingray not able to punish that efficiently. Dawg just nair after nair after nair. Finds the side light, doesn't find the recovery. That's a nair though. That's going to be dangerous. The end sig, not going to quite knock out, but very close. Stingray, it's back to the edge.
Indeed it is. Oh, he's trying to get this double knockout with this bow, but unfortunately Stingray does not keep that weapon after that hit there by the blue team. Stingray now having to rely on unarmed. It's a fantastic side signature on Dawg. Dawg is unfortunately able to weapon starve Stingray. Stingray trying to go for something, but Dawg with the silent recovery knockout. And the Cutie and Dawg getting that round to their name. Very nice job. That could have gone either way going into that round. So very nice job. And as we're looking at the replays there, I mean, Stingray tried their best. They tried to go in for a Greg. It's a downlight read, but it just wasn't able to land.
Yeah, that definitely came down to the expert placement and positioning of the blue team, keeping the weapons away from Stingray, pushing him away from a situation where he can have stage control, weapon control, and be in a situation where he'd be able to take it back, forcing him into an uncomfortable situation, which then forced him to think way harder about what he's doing and possibly slip up. And that's exactly what we saw with that GTD light punished perfectly by Dawg. And going into this next game, that shows the fact that the blue team have what it takes. That their mentality is there. They're thinking about what they're doing, and they have that experience. They just need to apply it now. And the red team, I mean, they had the lead throughout that entire game, and then the blue team managed to seal it back at the last minute. So I'm expecting really big things the remainder of this set.
Sure, and now we're going into it, and red team's trying to get these team combos right out the bat. And hey, I mean, now you're seeing double gauntlet coming out of the blue team. That's starting to maximize on the Hardy. Cutie's trying to get some type of punishments. Look at the gauntlets just come out of the blue team right now and just really show what they're made of.
Yes, sir, and the follow-ups are immaculate and consistent for the blue team. That being said, though, Dawg did almost get knocked out there. The exhaustive recovery not going to knock out Stingray, but is very close to doing so. The side air, Cutie looking for the edge guard. Finds the ground pound, secures it. Hardy now left alone, dodges down to avoid the punishment out of that sidelight. With a great sword string, finds the recovery. Cutie barely surviving that one. The nair. Dawg, again, just barely living, and the blue team clinging on for dear life, but the red team will secure the stocks of both blue team members, and now Hardy, the one to tank this stock as opposed to Stingray last game.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, as we say that, Dawg goes and gets that recovery knockout on the Hardy MJ, making things 2 stocks even, but I'm kind of surprised the blue team really didn't approach Hardy. Or they didn't really approach Stingray off that ledge until Hardy was back. Oh, Dawg coming in with that 2-piece onto Stingray, and then come back alive for the blue team to focus on Hardy MJ while they're in the air. Hardy did counter that very, very well there, Hackle.
Absolutely, yeah. Greatsword is not a weapon that is very easy to maneuver offstage, especially against a weapon like Gauntless with such a strong offstage presence. So to be able to get back like that is a very, very impressive feat. But that being said, the blue team really, really focusing down Stingray right now, and Hardy really trying to relieve the pressure, but not necessarily doing enough. QT doesn't find the side sig. And Stingray will find the recovery. Stock's even, but Stingray is already at risk of losing his final. QT actually going to clip the edge of the stage, but not quite touch. And now Stocks are, by numbers, in favor of the red team.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, red team. But the issue is with the red team, with Stingray being so low, he's got to be so careful not to get themselves knocked out here. Nice, fantastic neutral air landing on the Dawg, but will Cutie be able to get this knockout on the Stingray while Stingray's gone? Double knockout by Dawg. Hardy has to deal with a 2v1, but he does have the stock to do it. Unless the blue team comes in and says, you know what, team combo go burr, and they knock him out.
Yeah, that is the win condition right now. Hardy has what it takes to win this, absolutely. But with double gauntlets on the field, this is going to be dangerous for him here. As loads and loads of moves in the kit will set up into a team combo if placed correctly by the blue team. And Hardy is playing this right by hovering around that edge, avoiding the grounded setup moves that Gauntlets has. Sweat beats for a moment there, manages to touch though. Just poking in with this greatsword.
And he's doing very, very well with their movement, kind of dodging every single thing realistically the blue team's throwing at them at the current moment. At this time, Hardy's still not...
The recovery.
Hardy gets the recovery. Still a 1v1 situation. That was a good 3-piece combo. And a neutral air knockout. Hardy taking this round to their name. Very nice control by Hardy MJ. And he's like, you know what? You can't throw anything against me without me countering you with greatsword off the ledge. Look at that.
Man, 707 damage put out by Hardy that game. Just absolutely one-man army. QT just AFKing that situation. Misses the sidelight. Gets caught there, and Hardy is just ready for everything. Drops the net. Doesn't matter. I'm coming straight back in at you with this one. Bam.
And that came down to them using their dodge already. I guess they expected to have a second dodge, and it just was not ready for them. So that being said, we're on game number 4, and we are on Miami Dome. And let's see what happens here. No character swaps coming out of either team. Sticking realistically with the same characters that they're comfortable with. And we'll see what happens again as we're back on this map.
Already things are starting to look a little bit bleak for the blue team. And Stingray got a lot of early damage there with the bow onto Dawg. Gauntless coming in for Dawg and the axe for QT. They're trying to rack up this damage. QT is already at risk of entering the red phase of health. Stingray, healthiest player on the board, just finding these axe slaps without punishment. Hardy finds a nair as well, and there goes QT's first stock. Will Dawg be soon to follow? Hardy finds the 2-piece, looks for the dare, doesn't manage to find it, almost gets knocked out. But Dawg, a little bit of team damage coming through, and Stingray's going to finally get into recovery, not quite enough. Now Dawg fishing for these signatures. Hardy doing the same, and Dawg getting a lot of team damage coming in here against QT. QT, the recovery actually going to hit both red team members far out, not quite enough to take out Stingray. The Lance getting a lot done right now as QT already at risk of losing the second stock, a minute and 15 into this game.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the red team is really just trying to keep this lead over the blue team. And now we're seeing Stingray use their lance a little bit, but Stingray is going to go ahead and get knocked out of their first stock. Dawg's trying to punish Hardy, so was Cutie. And Hardy, as soon as he comes back on the platform, is just able to kind of balance things out a little bit.
Yeah, all of a sudden things are looking a little bit better for the blue team, but that being said, QT is now on his final stock. Hardy could be soon to follow, and if they can do so... In fact, racking up the damage to Stingray very quickly, their recovery comes through. And all of a sudden, the blue team started to bring it back a little bit. Despite the horrific start they had with the amount of damage that the red team was racking up. It's now actually in their favor.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, blue team just turned this around a little bit. I mean, they were down by a half or a stock there, and blue team's like, you know what? Let's go ahead and focus a little bit on a couple of different openings that they have. And look at them. That's an opening right there, but the blue team launching Stingray into the orange, being able to launch Hardy MJ off that ledge to be able to punish Stingray in the air. But blue team realizes that both red team members are back. Hardy MJ has that neutral control and use that greatsword to their advantage. But Cutie said, you know what? Silent recovery. Stingray's out of here, and Hardy MJ has to deal with another 2v1. And if they want to go into the game, it says Dawg says you don't get the opportunity. Game number 5 going into the books, and this is going to be very close. It comes down to how well the opposing teams realistically like counter each other and adapt. And if we look at the stats there, I mean realistically, Hardy MJ did 292 damage on greatsword and 45 with sword. It is the same amount of damage that they did on sword as they did on armed.
Yeah, no, that's Hardy for you. Yeah, going into this game 5, no legend or stage swaps coming in, just sticking with the same formula, and that has to be a testament to the confidence of these players that they don't need to swap up the formula to adapt mentally and in their play style. But right now, the blue team taking an early damage deficit a little bit, but they are finding a few gauntlet handoffs here. Hardy though finds a 3-piece, isn't actually enough to take out Cutie, but goes out there for the edge guard, finds the dare, secures it nonetheless swiftly. The NSIG actually coming out of Dawg is not enough to take out Stingray, with the second one more than enough, and this game is going incredibly quickly so far.
Yeah, I mean, very, very quickly. We're 50 seconds in. We have both a red team member and a blue team member going down to their second stocks. Then we're seeing Hardy getting launched into the air. We're seeing the blue team keeping a little bit more close together, trying to do these team combos. And Hardy comes in, knocks out Dawg, and gives the red team an opportunity of doing some more damage build up on a Cutie.
Oh, Stingray accidentally saving Hardy's stock right there with that N-Light, but Stingray struggling to tank this damage right here. Already in the red at this second stock. Hardy was barbecue sauce there for a moment, but will fall down. Stingray now left alone. Gets down to the bottom side of the wall, and Hardy just throwing out these moves, trying to take the pressure off his teammate. Actually finds a side air onto his own teammate. Also get back up onto the stage, but Dawg finds the side air. Stingray has nothing left to get back, and the stock advantage is in favor of the blue team right now.
Yeah, and at the moment, I mean, blue team with where they're at comes down to how long they can hold those stocks and make sure that the red team can't punish them. But with the range that Stingray has with that lance and the range that Hardy MJ has with that greatsword, it's gonna be difficult to do unless you go off edge. Oh my god, I don't like hearing double
lovely
gauntlets.
turnaround NSIG coming out from Dawg, and Dawg just finding all of these signature follow-ups. It's starting to look very bleak as Stingray is at risk of Dawg! Chillax!
Oh
Stingray is
God.
gone. It's 4 stocks against the 1 of Hardy for a chance to get into grand finals. The blue team want their rematch against Luna and Experience. Hardy wants a chance to get up into the grands, and right now the blue team don't care. It's a double side comes in from Dawg. Just decimating that final stock. All 6 knockouts and 600 damage put out by Dawg.
Dude, Dawg is looking like the OG anime fan that we have had in Moose Wars. Go crazy. He's showing the powerhouse that he can be in any official or community event. Very nice job coming from Cutie and Dawg, using their teamwork there. And just, oh my god. Phew. The gauntlets.
Is that 700 total damage coming out of the red team there? In a game 5.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's really tough. Very well played by Dawg and Cutie, and equally well played by Hardy and Stingray, taking it all the way to game 5, going out in 3rd place. But that 3rd place placement for Hardy and Stingray does in fact mean that Dawg and Cutie are going to get their grand finals rematch against Luna and Experience. The winners final we had where Luna and Experience decimated with a 3-0 scoreline, and now Dawg and Cutie are going to be looking to turn that back around in their favor in this grand finals. And they have to be in it for the long haul. With this being a double elimination bracket, they have to win 2 sets against the #1 seeded team in the tournament.
Well, and here's the thing, though. I mean, realistically, Dawg and Cutie, I think they're on their A game right now. I mean, they were down one game over Hardy MJ and Stingray and won games back to back and whooped their ass and went up to grand finals. And I mean, it wasn't an easy whooping of the ass, but it still happened, right? So we're now going to grand finals. Luna Experience has been going absolutely crazy on the winner's side. And will Dawg and Cutie be able to provide the extra step they need? Go ahead and win this tournament. This is grand finals, ladies and gentlemen. This is something that you can't fray on. I mean, this is the final couple sets of the winner's side of this bracket, or the entirety of this tournament. And it's for a lot of money involved between these placements. So both these teams are ready to go, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, for certain. And I'm actually incredibly excited to see this rematch, because as you said, Dawg and Cutie seem to be on their A game. They are absolutely on fire right now off that victory. I mean, that final game was probably the most convincing victory ever any team had in that set, and it was the game 5 set, which means Dawg and Cutie have to be fired up going into this grands. I would not be surprised if they have the energy to go all the way and take this to the second set and take this home, but Experience and Luna have had that ego boost of being sat up here on the winner's side of grand finals. No matter what happens, they have to put in less work by numbers than Cutie and Dawg to win this tournament. They've only got to win one set. They could throw the first set and then play their hearts out in the second set and still win.
Yeah, for sure. And now we're going into this set here, and I mean, we're definitely gonna have to see what happens. I mean, with Dawg and Cutie being on the elimination side of this bracket, they have to be very careful with where they're currently being, because you brought up a good point earlier. They have to win 2 sets in a row. So Luna Experience feeling a lot more comfortable going into this matchup. And they're on Demon Island. And Dawg and Cutie being risky. A little bit too risky. Experience knocking out Dawg. Cutie now having to deal with a team gun by the red team. And look at the approaching, like the approach that the red team is really doing against the blue team. It's just countering them like crazy.
Oh, Experience trying to go crazy right here with these gauntlets. Spear and light drop? Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's not what I've seen before, personally, in my time in this game. The N-Sig coming through, and the blue team very minorly in a deficit here. But depending on how much damage gets put onto Dawg in the near future, that very much could change. Experience managing to make it back using the side air of that cannon. Dawg caught by the ground pound. Luna gonna make it back. Cutie's there to save his teammate.
Oh.
Oh, the perfect dodge coming out! Frame perfect dodge on the blast of that D-Sig, and Experience still holding on. Never mind.
Oh. See, this is why we don't say shit there, Apple, because we just get absolutely countered in its commentator's curse. And we're going into it. We're minute 30 in. Look at that weapon throw by Luna. Same thing. Experience from getting knocked out as well. And look at team combos. Dawg getting knocked out. Cutie getting launched off the right side. Will Cutie be able to even touch the platform? Not for long. Oh, they're able to, but look. Dawg with the unarmed recovery on the Luna. We see a team combo coming in from the blue team. Look at that go, but Dawg not even close to getting the knockout option on Experience, but we do see Luna knocking out Cutie. We see Experience knocking out Dawg there, and we have another 2v1 situation in favor of the red team.
Dude, what?
Wow. Holy sh**. All right, well, red team's just going crazy. I mean, they're representing their... Oh, good lord. And I like how we're seeing a lot of like offense signatures too. We saw that from Experience during one of the knockouts. It's pretty cool, like how people just are having a rough time identifying the range of the stocks.
If I'm Dawg and I got hit by that slide charge D-Sig on Onyx in orange and got knocked out on Demon, my fist is through the monitor. Like that's a wrap for that set. I would be so mad. Experience right now trying to cook up on Dawg. Okay, he managed to touch the wall. I thought for a second we were about to see an absolute execution here on stream, but Dawg does manage to make it back. Damage has been dealt though, and Dawg already at risk of entering the orange here, although Luna actually all of a sudden in a very similar situation.
He is indeed, and he's got to be, I mean, both teams are very careful. They're just trying to, I think a blue team realistically needs to be very much close to each other to be able to land these team style combos, but the red team are just so good at adapting and taking that range route. Oh my gosh! Look at that! Dawg has saved his teammate with a recovery too. A very nice approach of countering the red team off that ledge. And you'll definitely be seeing the blue team try to do that a little bit more in the future, but I think the red team will now expect it a lot more.
For certain, and right now Dawg left alone against the red team. It's a terrifying situation to be in. Does survive the side air. Experience actually tanking a bit less than the previous games you've seen. Trying to go in with this cannon right now, doesn't manage to find it, but QT does not have an answer with the gauntlets, and now Luna trying to go in with the blasters himself. And Dawg, the healthiest player on the board, actually finds some team damage onto his own teammate. Luna could be in trouble here. Experience is there to cover with the nair.
Indeed, indeed. And I mean, it's so it's close. Oh my gosh. Experience almost knocked out his teammate with that offense signature there. Luna knocking out Cutie, and now the red team having a 2v1 opportunity on the Dawg. Will he be able to get the knockout? Dawg says nope. Grab that knockout on the Luna. And Cutie with 2 pieces of experience. Oh my god.
I do not get a second to breathe in this set. I can't imagine how the players feel. Like it does not stop. The onslaught of this match does not stop. And now QT taking a decent bit of damage here. Dawg needs to take the brunt of the force from the red team. It's definitely doable for them right now. Going in with the spear. Luna caught by the D-Sig. Is able to make it back to the wall. Experience is going to take the front seat here. Recovery's going to come through. Can they take out QT while he is left alone? All right, there comes through the N-Sig. That's going to be enough. Now, can Dawg win the 2v1? String coming in from Experience. Already a lot of damage racked up. Luna with the down there. Ground pound comes through, and that's going to be it. That's so heartbreaking.
It is indeed, but I mean, just the control from the red team. Oh my gosh.
Alright, ladies and gents, you guys can't quite see the stat sheet quite yet, but it'll be up there for a second for you, and you'll see exactly what I'm shocked about.
But I mean, overall though, red team really showing what they're capable of, and showing why they're on the winner's side of this bracket. And right now, I mean, Dawg and Cutie are having a difficult time really coming back, with Experience doing an F-ton of damage. Oh my lord. 658 damage on their opponents.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Luna did the least damage out of anyone in the game, and yet they still won because Experience is him, apparently. And right now going into game number 3, this is scary for the blue team, because where they've risked getting 3 Odin Grands for the entire tournament, and right now Luna is trying to make a statement here as Cutie already falls down 20 seconds into the game. Dawg finds the nair. Ground pound as well. Luna is actually done. Finds the nair for the chase. Please chillax. Please chillax. This is too much for my brain to handle.
He just can't comprehend what's going on, and to be frank, I don't blame him. We see so many gauntlet attacks coming in from each team, and I mean, you're going back and forth. You don't know if one team's doing one attack or another team's doing another. It's just gauntlet goes bare in the brains of everyone, and we see a lot of gauntlet. This is a gauntlet showdown right now. Oh my god.
Guys, Dawg has a family. Like, they have
what? Okay.
The red team are holding this lead over the blue team, and they're freestyling right now. Like, you can see the confidence in how they're playing. The blue team desperately trying to drag this back in their favor, and it's not too far from that if they can get rid of the second stock of Luna, but the dangerous task to achieve with Experience there, defending him. Manages to touch the wall, manages to get back up. QT, keep in mind, is on his final stock. This could be his tournament stock. Double D-Light. QT's there for the follow-up. Both red team members now entering the red fittingly. Luna is there for the save onto Experience. But with a ground pound though, Dawg could be in trouble. Stocks equalized up. Damage very slightly in the red team's favor. Now the stocks are in favor of the blue team. Red team maybe getting a little bit too comfortable, having to start focusing a bit more on how this game is going. Experience it. Look on to QT, the ground pound comes through, and Dawg is left alone in a 2v1 for the grand finals. The Nair connects, and it's all on Dawg.
I mean, it really comes down to that. They need to have the Dawg come out of them to be able to win this round here. And we've seen it so far. I mean, we saw a previous round where they were able to, but you're also going against one of the best teams in this event and some of the best 1v1 players in the entire world. And the red team's really showing that. But Dawg getting launched off experience with the weapon throw. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Experience. Luna are your Moose Wars Frozen Fury 2v2 champions of this event. But my gosh, have we seen some fantastic gameplay tonight.
Just what can you do against such a devastating onslaught of damage? All they needed was 921 damage. Normally in the stats we saw before, the teams would do 921 if they were losing, right? They would do below 1k if they were losing. Luna and Experience don't need over 1k damage because they'll take your stocks in yellow if you get too comfortable. And I'm not coming here and saying that Dawg and QT played poorly. They played incredibly well. I just don't think anyone was ready for the absolute onslaught of handoffs and adaptive combos that Luna and Experience managed to just cook up in this tournament.
I agree, and I think Luna and Experience are a team, if they're playing in the future, are going to go crazy. But this is more of a one-off team that we expect. The same thing with Dawg and QT, right? We're used to seeing QT and Walsh, we're used to seeing Anime Fan and Dawg, and they split things up to see how well they did as each other's teammates. And this is community events are one of those things that happen in the Brawlhalla community to show the Brawlhalla community how adaptable these players are. And it gives the players an opportunity to be like, hey, we're going to try something different. And we're going to see how it works. If it works, right? The main goal for Lions players is to get #1, and they're willing to do everything they possibly can to do so. With that being said, props to Luna Experience on showing their gameplay once again, getting that first place. Props to Dawg and QT on getting second, and props to everyone that played throughout this event. And with that being said here, I think there might be some props for the Twitch chat here that we might have in the bottom right corner. Okay, looks like we got a little bit of a Moose Wars avatar in the bottom right corner of the screen. And we'll have to see who gets that one. But man, we've had so many fantastic matches. And how have you felt about the overall event, Hackle?
Absolutely fantastic. I was not expecting for the mishmash of teams we had coming in here today to perform quite as spectacularly. It is such a true statement that Brawl, and especially 2v2s, the level of gameplay is just constantly increasing, and it is such an absolute treat to watch.
Absolutely. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you remember tomorrow we have the 1v1 Frozen Fury Championship. Make sure you guys go ahead and sign up for that now. Do !tournament, go to the register button, sign up. We have some fantastic 1v1 players. And during this 2v2 event, we have one of the most notorious Brawlhalla players, Sandstorm, playing tomorrow during the event. He registered while this stream was going live. And we have some amazing gameplay for you from tomorrow from Sandstorm and a variety of players, including EU players. And another thing is we had a couple of EU teams playing in this event and showing that they could play on fucking, what, 80 or 120 ping and beat the crazy out of a lot of people. So if you guys are NA, EU, South America, as long as you guys can play on USE servers, sign up. It's going to be a fantastic event tomorrow. And with that being said, we're going to go in and take things away. Make sure you guys enjoy yourselves. We appreciate you guys being here. With that being said, have a fantastic rest of your night. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern on stream with some amazing 1v1 content. Have a great night, guys. Peace out.